Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the world of Ardenfell. For those of you who are new, I am Squee, and I am going to be DMing a campaign of Dungeons of the Mad Mage in Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. However, I will be changing things a bit to fit my characters' backstories and throw some new content in there. I think if the Dungeon of the Mad Mage is like the skeleton that I'm working a campaign around. First things first, I am setting this in my world of Ardenfell. If you've watched many of my D&D campaigns, a lot of them are placed in this world. It's my own design. I love it very much, and we are keeping with the canon there. We are actually going to be taking, this campaign will be taking place 100 years before the very first Ardenfell campaign. So that's technically 170 years before Winter's Candle, which is currently on hiatus, will return, I do promise, but it is on hiatus at the moment. So this is going to be a slightly younger Ardenfell than some of you may remember. If you are curious about the world of Ardenfell itself, I'm going to put a link in the description below. If this is YouTube or on Twitch, I'll put a link in the chat of a video you can go to that kind of goes over Ardenfell and the current state of it and everything that you should need to know. But for those of you who are returning or are familiar with Ardenfell in any way, this adventure will take place in the city of Whitebridge, our favorite city of Whitebridge, but it will not deal too much with the outside world. This campaign will deal heavily with Undermountain, which is a mega dungeon that takes our players from level 5 to level 20. An interesting thing to note about this is that the module itself doesn't have much of a narrative. It's more like a collection of really cool dungeons. Basically, there's 23 levels to this dungeon, and every level has a different atmosphere and story attached to it that sometimes connect and sometimes don't. And there's no overarching story for the module like Mini. So I've changed that. I've written one that heavily involves our players and should make this a much more narrative experience. And I'm very, very excited to DM this for all of you. The audience on Twitch will be able to actually participate, which I'll explain more as we get started. But I did want to let you guys know this format's going to be different than what I'm used to as well, which is you will see our players' avatars in the bottom of the screen, and I will actually be using my VTube avatar to DM. Hopefully you'll be able to catch some of my gesticulation and some of my facial expressions maybe, but we'll see how that goes. I don't want to take up too much more of your time as we have a very long session 0 ahead of you tonight. I should also note, for those of you who are watching the stream, this has all been pre-recorded and I am here in chat to chat with you guys and answer your questions. But since this session 0 was recorded at different times for different people, I went ahead and edited it all together into one episode that you are watching now. Every other session after this will be streamed live, and I will be much less active in chat for obvious reasons. If you're watching this on YouTube, hello, I hope you enjoy it. This is our session 0, though quite honestly it's much more like a session 1, but different characters are in different places. I absolutely adore all of my players. I will be playing with James, a very good friend of mine, Shiloh, another extremely good friend of mine. James you will know a little bit from Rise of the Gods, which is another campaign on this channel. He plays Twani, the Barbarian, and you've also seen him on my Twitch channel a lot with Hades and Halo and things like that. Shiloh, this is her first time ever being in a campaign that we've ever recorded, and she's a wonderful friend of mine. I'm very happy that she's here. And of course there is Eldridge and Blue, which are longtime friends of mine and roommates, who are in many campaigns, Ardenfell, Crimson Throne, Rising Gods, so they're familiar faces returning. The characters they've made for this campaign are fantastic. I am so excited for all 4 of these players to experience what I have in store for them and to add so much on their own, because as we all know, Dungeons & Dragons is a story that is told together. And without further ado, I would like to welcome you all to Dungeon of the Mad Mage. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Session 0. Before I get started with individuals, let me go over a few things because this is a Session 0. Um, Welcome to another Ardenfell campaign, and 3 of my lovely players. The 4th you'll see at different points in this video. Let me explain a few things to you all. We will be streaming this, of course, and uploading it to YouTube. And as you can see up above me, there is a way for viewers of the stream to participate. You will be earning gold as you watch. It's a currency that you should be earning as we speak. And then you can redeem that gold to buy these lovely things for our players. They will not be that exactly. They will shift and change. Some things will always be available to you to buy, but on a times limit. Some things will only be 1 per session, and it'll be a rotating list, but you can spend your gold to aid the players, and you can buy them for the players, and I will get them to the players, and they will have basically 2 sessions of which time to use them, or they expire. They have expiration dates on them. There are other ways you'll be able to use your gold, but that's an advantage that you guys will have if you watch us live. You can participate and help keep them from killing themselves. Or maybe not. Who knows? I was gonna say no spoilers. No spoilers, everyone out there. Don't tell my players all the spoilers that you know of this campaign. That's not really possible. Yeah, that's about it. That's all I have to say. We're ready to get started. Thanks for watching. And we'll get started with Eldar. Hello, James.
Greetings.
How goes?
Pretty good.
Excellent.
Pretty good.
You are playing Eldar, the Fire Ganassi, which people can see below. And we are starting in a place that we have never started before in Ardenfell. We are starting in the capital of the High Elves, Palantir. It is a bright spring day, and Eldar is... Where's Eldar exactly? Let me see. You would be at this... Oh, let me zoom in for all the players at home. You would be over here in this big round area near the palace. Right here.
Aha.
That is where you are. That is the Mage Academy. You are currently teaching a class. What class are you teaching?
Advanced Arcane Mechanics.
Advanced Arcane Mechanics. Eldar, give me a description of your character. What do people see when they look at Eldar?
They see a very fiery looking fellow who's quite young. He doesn't look much above 20. He has kind of messy hair that gently flickers like fire, burning yellow eyes, and a pretty scar on his face. He's wearing what's the best way? Kind of like an open jacket with no undershirt because he's always too warm, and some very baggy pants.
Gotcha. How old does he look, more or less?
Just a little over 20.
So you are standing up in a class of people who look to be in their late 20s.
Mm-hmm.
And you've been lecturing for about an hour on advanced mechanics. And one of the things that you are teaching is actually advanced uses for cantrips. That a lot of wizards, when they start learning the big stuff, they tend to kind of forget about the simple fundamentals, and they don't practice their cantrips. And that, it's that classic thing of, people fail to practice their fundamentals. So wizards who they can cast great, wonderful things and really crap cantrips because they just don't. They don't practice. They lose it.
Learn your practice your scales. Doesn't matter how good you get. Practice your
Exactly.
scales.
Exactly. And as you are teaching, and the class bell rings, a lot of students seem kind of bored. A few are listening. A few seem upset. And some of the older students, as others are filing out, come up towards Eldar. Hey, Professor, I'm ready again. And they pull a coin out of their pocket. And this time, I'm winning. And they slap 5 gold on the desk.
Eldar doesn't even look up from what he's writing on the paper on the desk. Very well. When you're ready.
Eldar doesn't see the angry look that flashes across their face. But they flip the coin up in the air, and it drops down onto the floor where the desk is blocking your vision of it. Roll me an Arcana check real quick.
Kidoki, I can certainly do that. Yep, I can certainly replace that with a 14 for a total of 20.
Hang on, what did you roll for the first time? It's
A
not showing
10.
up for me. 10 plus what?
That 10 total.
That's fine. That's all. That's all
Dirty
you.
10.
That's all you needed. So save your
Okay.
portent.
Sure.
You can tell that one of the other classmates behind was casting a subtle spell on the coin. Doesn't really seem to phase you though, or upset you, but it's clear that they're trying some sort of trickery. What do you tell them? What face of the coin is facing up?
Let's find out. It would be tails.
So you just say it, casualty, tails, and oh, I see why I didn't show up there. You're still whispering to me if you wanted to be or not.
I need to turn that off.
Perfect. And the students chuckle and he goes, ha, tails, it's not tails, it's... And they look down and they look back up at you angrily. That's not possible. I mean, of course it's possible. It's just a coin. It's not like we did anything to it. It's not tails though. And you know it's tails.
Yeah. Oh, well, it's not tails, is it? Just have a look there. Peeks over the edge of the desk.
It's tails.
Ah, it appears to be tails.
And the student, who is a high elf with bright blonde hair, just gets very red in the face and just says, "Fine, we'll try again tomorrow." And
I look forward to it. And he slides the gold over.
and they start walking out of the room, and you hear one of them saying, "That's 56 times in a row. That's not. There's got to be some sort of magic to it." And they leave the room. And as they leave the room, and as you think you're the last one in the room, you go back to writing, and you just start hearing. So do they know about your little tricks? And you go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I thought that was the DM talking.
No. That's the character. And you hear a voice that sounds familiar to you. It is a voice of Captain Larthus, who was a superior officer in your past. You haven't seen them in about 5 years. They're a high elf with a dark uniform, very short and neat kept hair. And they're sitting in one of the desks for your students, but as always, they're sitting very rigid, almost as if there's a string on the top of their head that continually pulls them upwards.
He finishes writing and then puts his pen down and looks up. Pen, pencil, quill. No, but I'm surprised they haven't figured it out already. I must be a terrible teacher.
Hmm. I need to speak with you.
He nods to indicate, go ahead.
And he waves his hand, and you can sense magic forming as a barrier suddenly encloses you all in as far as sound. I forget the actual name of the spell. The Sanctum.
I know. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. As it pops up around you. And he doesn't move from the desk. He still stays there in one of the back rows. And he says, "You've done well for yourself. A student at the Mage Academy. At your age, too."
Teacher?
"Teacher. Yes." He looks down at like his desk and closes it. "I had heard that. I had assumed it was a joke."
Nope, that's quite true.
"Well, then this makes this even more complicated. I have to pull you away from your students."
Oh no. There's no sincerity in his voice.
Raises an eyebrow at that. "Right. So, I want you to know that I had no say in the program that used you, and that it was a war, and that sometimes people do desperate things in wars. I don't advocate for child soldiers, and I don't think it was right, but the Feywild was attacking us and we were losing, and you have uncanny abilities that were needed. Still,
No, by all means. Children are the answer to war. It's fine.
he looks at you again. How sincere are you being?
Not sincere in the slightest.
Nope. He pauses. "Be that as it may, I don't condone their use of you. And I don't enjoy what I'm going to do now. But your services are needed again. I'm conscripting you."
He pinches like the top of his nose. I must have misheard you. I'm sorry. What?
"I need you. The High Elves need you. So I am
Oh,
calling in a clause to reconscript you."
that's it's a short retirement. Very
I,
short.
I apologize, but you'll want to hear what I have to say.
Hmm.
We have tracked down the man who started the war that opened the portal to the Feywild. That man, his name is Denethor, a powerful high elf, one that I think you've had run-ins with before.
His pencil snaps.
Ah, yes, I thought so. We have reports from sources that we trust that he has resurfaced, in a manner of speaking, and we want him to hold him accountable for what happened. And since you have had experience with this person, and because of your other talents, we want you to apprehend him.
He very quickly pushes his chair back uh, stands up and like his hair starts flaming slightly more and flames on the side of his face, walks right up to him. So, let me get this straight. You send me to war as a child for 10 years, let me teach for a year, and then all of a sudden you need me again. To go and kill a man, nonetheless. That's fine. I'm assuming you want me to kill him.
We would prefer he be brought back, but if that is...
Okay, even easier. That's fine. No. That's you think you're being reasonable? I don't see why I should accept this request.
Well, I could force you. Or you could stay here in
No.
this...
No. I didn't say I wouldn't do it. I'm just not very happy about it. Nope. I will absolutely do this.
He opens his mouth and closes it several times. Right. Good. It's good that Right. And he like trying to figure out how to respond to it. And he finally stands up and he says, he is resurfaced in a place called Undermountain. Are you familiar with it?
Would I roll for something?
Yeah. Roll me a knowledge history.
Knowledge history.
Mm-hmm.
Boop.
Oh, wow. Yes. You've heard of it. It is a large dungeon below the city of Whitebridge that is famous for adventurers trying to go down and ply their trade and strike it rich. And it is run by some weird archmage. You don't quite recall their name. Someone who's supposed to be extremely powerful.
Uh, yes, I have heard of it. Go on.
It would seem that this Denethor has made himself an apprentice to the mage that runs Undermountain, Halaster. And when that name is said, your gloved hand, starts to burn.
He winces and takes a step back and takes off his glove real quick and looks at his hand. Although, to him, it looks like he's taking off nothing.
Right. But even though you take off nothing, a glowing sigil on your palm that you've never quite understood is burning. Not enough to really hurt you, but enough that it's painful. And it fades very quickly.
He clenches his fist and opens it a few times. What was that? What did you do?
The man raises his eyebrow. I did nothing. What are you talking about?
Insight check. Oh,
He seems honest enough.
right. He's not even looking. He's just looking at his hand the whole time. Right. Anything else?
Your ship departs tomorrow. And he turns his heel, walks towards the exit, stops at the door. I really did not condone what they did to you, Eldar. And I do not like having to use you now. But we all have duty. We all have obligation.
Speaking of which, just would you mind one moment, please? And he'll pull out a piece of paper, write down a few things on it, walks over, pushes it into his chest. These are things that will need to be taken care of at my house while I'm gone.
He looks a little perturbed, takes the note. It will be done, of course. And looks at it, his eyes like widen one or two lines. Right. That's we we can handle that. Then like kind of awkwardly, assuredly walks out of the room.
Expenses, I believe, will be need to be paid for travel, accommodation.
Uh you notice that on the desk where he was sitting as he left, there is an envelope with travel papers, tickets to the ship. No gold.
Mm. It floats over to him, and he snatches it out of the air. Very well. Well, it was a pleasure seeing you again, and he erupts into flame and disappears. He just
Amazing.
misty stepped out of the school, and he's going home.
Excellent. We are going to skip forward, of course. The travel to Whitebridge is fairly routine. I don't know how much experience do you have with ships?
I don't think. Well, there's a lot of water here. I'm sure he's been on one or two.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. There's definitely have been ships, and your journeys to other places have probably involved at least a few. So the adventure on the ship is rather mundane. It takes a few weeks to sail around the coast of Ardenfell and up the river through the free lands until you arrive at Whitebridge. When you get to Whitebridge, um, you first, of course, you disembark the ship, and with all your belongings, you don't really have much information to go on. You do know that there are the Undermountain lies below the city, and that there are several entrances to it that you could use. However, your time in your past endeavors have taught you to be that discretion is always the better sense of valor. And you did get from the ship that there is one entrance to Undermountain, which is a fairly small, not as used entrance at a tavern called the Yawning Portal. It's kind of like a sightseeing or an attraction, one might say. There's a giant hole in the bottom of the tavern that lowers people to Undermountain. It's used, but it's not very official, but that also means there's less eyes upon it. And you start making your way towards it.
Before he makes his way there,
Mm-hmm.
He's just gonna kind of follow his nose to like wherever like the religious stuff happens,
Okay.
and find his himself at the Temple of Mistra.
Okay. So the Temple of Mistra is over it's a small temple in this town, as it is in so many. Um, but it is by the giant clock tower up in over in this area. The temple itself is that little hut next to it. It's not a hut, actually. It's a very nice temple. This is the better part of town. Everything here is very nice. It's just small.
So he'll walk in and just find a nice, quiet, area where they sit down and do their like meditation / praying kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll say a little prayer. Once again, Mr. I thank you for your gift. I would appreciate your help on this endeavor. As usual, I will be following your I forgot the name of it. Dogma to the letter. You're the best. Thank you. And yes.
All right. Roll me not that this is your usual type of roll, but roll me a religion check.
Will just use his nat 20 patent for a 20. Where's religion? 24.
Okay. Cool. Eldar, as you are praying to Mistra, the sense of peace that you normally feel is disrupted, and you open your eyes to something different. You're not in the temple, you're standing on the street outside, and for a second you're almost like, wait, did I walk outside? And then there is a scream, and then another scream, and then all around you there's cries of pain. And you look and you see people falling to the ground. And as they fall to the ground, as their body touches the ground, you see like a silver mist seeping from them into the ground. And as it seeps from them, their bodies begin to desiccate. Their skin dries up and wrinkles, and then their screams turn to small whines, and then they die. 10s, 20s, 100s, everyone around you. And then there is a flash of images. You see a door of black steel with an inverted symbol of helm on it that feels and radiates a terrible feeling. And before you have a chance to even think about it, you see a green dragon with a sword lodged in the back of its skull, and a small little creature approaching it. And before you can even think about that, you see another individual. Hard to see them in anything more than a silhouette because they are blinding like a summer sun. You see some shadow sitting on their shoulder, and you see creatures of cold and creatures of fire surrounding them. And then you open your eyes again, and you're still in the temple. But as you begin to realize that this was some sort of vision, some sort of vision that Mistra has sent you, you hear one clear ring in the back of your mind. And it's not words so much, but a feeling. It's a feeling that's like a beacon, like it's beckoning you to follow it. Do you?
Yes.
You get up, you leave the temple, your mind trying to make sense of what's happening or what you just saw. And you make your way down the road to a little shop in the richer part of town. And in that shop, you feel like there's something in there that's important. And
He.
uh-huh.
Yeah, unless that. Oh, sorry. Yeah,
No. Say what you'd like to say.
He's gonna start looking through everything.
Gotcha. And as you enter that shop, we're going to cut over to Zoey.
Okay.
Zoey!
Yes.
Hello, Shy.
Hi.
We are going to start in Whitebridge. Over in the Temple of Helm, which is a much larger temple in this city than the Temple of Mistra is.
Of course it is.
Of course it is. It is this large building over here. It is one of the larger temples of Helm in Ardenfell, and it houses several hundred priests and workers and staff and paladins and clerics. It is late morning. You have finished your chores, and there is a knock on your door as you're in your room communing. And without waiting for you to actually answer or bid entry, The door opens, and you see a young-looking dwarf with short black hair stick their head in. Zoe, I'm sorry to disturb you. Madam Faith would like to speak to you in her chambers.
Zoe would get up. Yes, thank you. I'll be right there.
Of course. And you make your way through the echoey chambers of the Temple of Helm, as they are large marble hallways and your footsteps echo against the walls. And you make your way to the office of Cleric Faith, who has been your teacher for some time. Of course, she is the teacher of most of the clerics at the Temple of Helm. The door is open, and you see this elderly lady, human, but in her 80s at least, maybe even more, given how powerful of a cleric she is meant to be. Her hair tied in a bun at the back of her head, and her robes white and gold and pristine. She's doing some sort of paperwork and hasn't noticed your presence.
Excuse me, miss. You sent for me.
She looks up. Ah, yes, Zoe, child, please come in, close the door.
Zoe would close the door and walk up to where she is working at her desk.
I need to talk to you about this request of yours. This request to go down into Undermountain. It says here that you were told to do so. By whom, child?
By Helm, of course.
And in your mind, as you say that, you hear, Zoe, help me. I need you. You must come to me. Outside of your head, Cleric Faith goes, ah, yes. I don't mean to question your faith, child, but there are many of us who have been devoting our entire lives to Helm and have never heard his word. Are you sure it is him?
Oh, 100%. I know it is Helm. He needs me. And I'm sorry that others just don't pray as well as I do.
She opens her mouth, then closes it, and there's like a small twitch in her eye. Yes, that is true. Many could use the type of devotion that you display. But Undermountain, child, really, it is a dangerous place, run by a madman. What possible purpose would Helm have to send you there?
Helm needs my help, and I can feel him. I can feel his energy just surging around me, and I know that I'm going to be well protected.
Helm needs your help.
Yes.
I see. Well, child, I am not going to stop you, but I urge you to consider this is dangerous. This is not the first request like this I have gotten. There are other clerics of Helm who have requested the same. We don't speak of this lightly, but there have been clerics that have gone into Undermountain under Helm's directive and have not returned. And I would ask that you reconsider. It is a terrible place.
Yes, and I understand that you were worried for me and my safety, and I truly appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. But Helm has tasked me to go down there, and I might be afraid, which I pray for every night. But I really need to go.
If you feel this is your calling, then child, you have my blessing to go. But I urge you, there are many things in this world, some divine, some infernal, and it is not always easy to tell which is which. But I must admit that Helm has been quiet of late. Even I have not communed with him. Perhaps what you seek is true. If so, I wish you all the faith in the world.
Zoe would clasp her hands together and give her a bow and thank you. This means so much to me, and I promise I will not let you or Helm down. And I will not put myself in any unnecessary danger, as my path is going to be dangerous enough as is.
Good. And before you go, child, if you wouldn't mind doing your teacher one last favor.
Of course.
I am running low on parchment for the purposes of writing scrolls. If you could run down to that quaint little magic shop down the road and pick up some more for me.
Yes. Any particular kind, grade? Any
The best
amount you
child.
desire?
50 gold worth should be fine. You'll find money in the coffers.
All right. I will get right on that, miss.
And with that, she returns to her paperwork. And you walk down the halls of Helm. And in your mind you hear, you do not need their permission. I need you.
Zoe would say in her mind, Most merciful Father, my refuge, my salvation, please have mercy on me. I promise I am coming.
And you make your way out of the temple, down the street, to a magic shop that doesn't have an actual title on it, or a name. But you've been here several times. This is a very common place to get parchment or ink or things of that nature that are required for magical works. And as you are about to enter, you see a sight that you don't see very often, a fire ganassi walk in the door in front of you. And with that, we're going to cut over to Muse. Hello, Elora.
Here.
How's it going?
Hi. Pretty good.
So, we are cutting to only about 30 minutes before Zoey and Eldar walk into a shop. You are sitting on a cart that you own, a wagon, and are riding through the gates of Whitebridge into the land market, as Whitebridge has two markets, one on the harbor and one at the front gates. And this market is more of you've never been to Whitebridge before, I don't think, right?
No, this is first time.
This is more of the flea market. The tents and shops and farmer fresh vegetables and things of that nature.
Her favorite spot.
Mm-hmm. This is the slightly poorer side of town. As you ride through with your two horses and your wagon, you are controlling the wagon, and next to you sits a young man who could not be a day over 28, but his hair is already white and a bit jagged and bristly. Like, it looks like he doesn't brush his long hair, but you know for a fact he does because you've been traveling with
sees
Ryan.
him make such an effort every morning. There's like ages poured into it every time, and every time it just immediate like
You see Raya try every day, but
Mm-hmm.
to no avail. But he's riding in the cabin, or the carriage next to you on the front seat. And as you're riding into Ardenfell, he's writing in a book. Writing and writing. He's writing in a book, and he stops for a moment and looks up as you pass through the gates to this guy and goes, "What do you think of the Crimson Tiger and the Tales of the Naughty Bunch?"
She just looks at him and like raises an eyebrow.
No? All right. How about the Crimson Tiger and the Misplaced Commitment?
Yeah.
He rolls his eyes. All right, fine. How about the Crimson Tiger and the girl who resurrected a man after knowing him for only a week?
He slaps a hand over his mouth. You have pulled that 3 times this month. Do it again, and I will shave your head in your sleep.
He looks at you. Looks at the book.
I'm not sure.
Gently. Okay, thank you, Alexa. I didn't actually ask you anything, but sure. Gently removes your hand. How about the Crimson Tiger and the girl who resurrected a man after knowing him only a week?
Oh my god, hang on. I've completely forgotten what spells she has. Yep, mage hand fingers directly up his nose.
Ah! Okay. All right, I give up.
Mage hand disperses, and she just rolls her eyes.
Raya does one of those, like, where he's, like, rolling his mouth, trying to stretch his face. All right. And he closes the book, and on the cover of the book, you see Adventures of the Crimson Tiger by Raya.
Mm-hmm.
And he puts it away and does a dramatic stretch of his arms and looks around. I still think this is a bad idea.
Well, considering it's the only idea we have that isn't just wandering the countryside, hoping and praying that we run into someone strong enough, powerful enough and smart enough to get me where I need to go. This is what we're going with.
I still think there's a chance we could find an archmage somewhere in the world.
Just out and about, maybe grocery shopping.
Look, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Undermountain is a dangerous place run by a madman. I don't think walking into Halaster's chambers and saying, "Oh, hi, I'm Muse. I'd like to get back to the Feywild," is just gonna work.
Alright, first of all, I don't sound like that. Second of all, it's called diplomacy, which you would know if you attempted to employ it.
He kind of like puts a pinky in his ears. He's like scratching an itch and he goes, it's overrated. And then you guys ride on in quiet for a few seconds. All right, fine. But I'm going first. I'm going to go.
Oh, you are?
Absolutely I am. Undermountain is a dangerous place. I have heard tales. Look, I've been here my whole life, unlike some of us. And he shoots a glare at you and the little dark owl-looking thing that's on your shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
And I have heard tales of the terrible things that are in that dungeon. So...
all the more reason that we should be going down there together. You've seen me fight. I can hold my own.
He like puts his fingers up and closes them together. I am putting... You see this? And he points to his foot. I'm putting it down. This is me. This is me putting my foot down, Muse. All right? You are my friend. I care about you. And I don't doubt your ability to defend yourself against bandits and robbers and whatnot, but this is not the same thing. So, you are going to hold up here for a few weeks while I go down there and check things out.
Few weeks?
Yes, it's a large place.
Absolutely not.
Fine. A
1
week.
week.
You say at the same time. 1 week. You stay up here. And I will go explore and make sure everything's fine. And I promise you, I will not talk to Halaster with my bad diplomacy. He does quotation marks.
Yeah, she points a finger at him. If you fuck this up for me, you'll wish I would end your existence.
He holds his hands up. Hey. I want to get to your home as much as you do. Trust me. So, I will be back in a week. And then we'll have a better idea of just how much insanity is involved in this plan.
There's a very long pause after that. She kind of sits back in the seat, glances over at her familiar on her shoulder, and gives a very long, pained sigh. Fine. Just be careful, okay?
He literally ruffles your hair. Will do, kiddo. And
Slaps hand away.
get into some trouble, but not too much trouble. And then with that, he just slings his pack over his pack and jumps off the cart right then and there. I did make a quick mistake. This is not 30 minutes before Zoe. This is a week.
I was going to say.
Yeah, this is a week. The next several days, up to almost a week, is rather hard for Muse. Does Muse get accommodations? Does she stay in the wagon?
So, if she can, because she does have some valuable stuff in the wagon, she'll find a place where it can be kind of what am I thinking? She'll find a spot where she can essentially park it so that the horses can be taken care of and she can still access it, but it's in a safe spot.
Right.
But yeah, she'll mostly be either in the wagon or wandering around, probably looking at the bazaar a bunch. If at all possible, she would want to find a spot that's fairly close to the entrance of
Gotcha.
that he used.
You would have seen him go into this large building right here that has a sign on it that says the Yawning Portal.
If you clicked on something I didn't see.
What? What if I try over here?
Yeah, there we go.
So, it has a sign on it that says the Yawning Portal.
Okay. So yeah, if at all possible, she would see if she could get the wagon like set up either nearby or at that location.
Yeah,
just kind of like
you're the Ardenfell equivalent of RV campers. You can just kind of go where you want.
awesome. Cool.
Days go by. It gets harder and harder. And on day number 6, you are walking through Whitebridge trying to distract yourself, and you're not really paying attention to where you're even going. You're just kind of meandering, right?
Yeah. At this point, like, she's not at first she was actually taking in the sights. At this point, she's just walking by muscle memory. If Din kind of taps at her one direction or another to avoid someone, that's pretty much the only thing that's keeping her from not face planting into someone.
And in your mind, you're having a furious conversation. He said a week, Muse.
Yes, and it's all right. Listen, he said it himself. It's dangerous down here. He went without that.
It's Raya.
Stupid idiot.
We have seen him do insane things. He'll be fine.
And if he pisses someone off more powerful than him?
He
Mm-hmm.
will probably be fine.
No. I can just pop by, see if he just.
The
I
the
just
the
want to stop
dark
by.
the dark owl on your shoulder flutters from your left shoulder to your right, and in your mind you hear, "Just pop by." Oh,
Yeah,
just pop by Undermountain, the biggest dungeon in all of Ardenfell. We'll just pop right by, won't we?
I'll. We can at least wait in the tavern. It.
Uh-huh.
I'm not technically going down. It's fine.
Muse,
Hmm.
why are we here? And you kind of look up and you realize that you're standing in front of this small blue, what looks like a shop. You don't even remember walking here. You haven't really been paying attention, but you've stopped and are standing in front of this shop. Like,
Just standing, like, silently fuming, fists on hips, staring at this fucking owl, and then just like, what? Looks over.
did you want something from here? I'm just...
If it'll distract me, then fine. Just, like, throws her hands up in the air and just, like, doesn't fling open the door, but it's certainly a dramatic gesture.
Gotcha. Alright, give me a second, everyone. As I do a few things and move you all over here. So, in the shop, you, all three of you, see a few things. Or we'll stick with Alora's point of view for the moment. You walk in the shop, and you see a strange sight. A fire ganassi, who I'm... James, you should have control of him. See if you do. Excellent. A fire ganassi who is rummaging through the shelves of the store with a purpose, yes? Does that sound about right?
James, you're muted.
Yes, I sure am. That's exactly what's happening.
Gotcha. You see what looks to be a silver-haired, maybe elf? Kind of hard to tell. Who has walked in the store and is currently perusing through parchment. And at the front desk, you see a very bored-looking employee that looks like a human that's probably in their mid-50s, and two what look to be interesting characters. They have different colored skin, one darker purple, one lighter purple, almost a pink color. They seem to have horns on top of their heads, and one is a male and one is a female, and they are talking to the shopkeeper, and the male is in there going, "Ah, but my friend, I am just coming in here to examine your wares. I did not mean to actually partake in anything. I would not be caught dead buying anything here." And then you hear, "Brother, you could be a little gentler, you know." And the person at the counter said, "I don't care. I asked you to leave." You are all three in session now. Eldar, you've been in here for all of 10 seconds. You feel it's somewhere in here, but you're not quite sure where. So
I can't control Muse.
how dare.
Yeah, I can't control Zoe.
I will fix that then.
You get to be sentries here at the door forever.
No, you don't. You get to move.
We're
just
beautiful
need to-
statues.
Why is it not?
Pretty.
There we go. I'm making another Muse. If Roll20 wants to put it there. And another Zoe. Weird. Okay, let me just delete these real quick. And add new ones. Technical difficulties on our first session. What a surprise.
Unbelievable. But we had so much time to prepare.
What is going on? It's not letting me drag these over. Oh, there it goes. I bet you I've
Nope.
dragged like...
That was me.
Yeah, I know. But I have a feeling that it's going to suddenly pop up with like 6 Zoes.
More Zoe's the better.
That is not always true.
Just
You
think
could
of
see
how
my
quickly she
face.
can recruit. How quickly she could recruit people.
All right, I'm reloading roll 20.
The sheer number of flyers.
While I get Zoe's token, the 3 of you are in the store. Muse, the second you walk into the store, you feel a tingling. A familiar tingling that you haven't felt in a few years. Not since you came to Ardenfell.
She frowns and glances around.
Hang on. Really weird. I am in the wrong game now. What's happening?
Whoopsie.
Yeah, it took me to the other Dungeon of the Mad Mage.
Wow.
What is going on? Anyway, you feel something pulling you towards the same table the Fire Ganassi is at. And as you approach, you see that the Fire Ganassi, James, Eldar, you are looking at a small pendant of a black star. And you know this is what you've been walking towards.
And she's also feeling a pull towards it.
Mm-hmm.
Immediately, as soon as she spots it, she starts reaching for it.
Oh,
Pardon
he's as soon as this is like he sees it, he's picking it up, obviously.
Uh-huh.
Should we roll like a dex or something to see who grabs it first?
Roll like a sleight of hand to see who grabs it first.
Oh
Sure.
god damn it.
Don't mind if I do. Let's just change this up to a 14 for a total
you
of
bitch.
25.
Uh,
You. God damn it!
can I give? Can I give her guidance? No, just kidding.
Wait, no, because I would have needed to.
You
I
wouldn't have
could
known,
given
yeah.
myself guidance, but
I'm
no.
still trying to add your token. It won't let me. I'm sorry.
Did you roll Muse? I don't see your.
I accidentally whispered, but yeah, it was
She got a 23.
I'm
Oh.
so mad. So she was fucking quick on it.
Yeah, but like in a
just
flash.
not quick enough.
In a flash.
Oh my god, you know what it was? He saw her like almost get it and was like, important.
Yeah.
Zoe, you see that there's kind of a loud, like 2 people reaching for the same thing. It rustles some stuff on the table.
There's a brief moment where she like watches him and then gives this very bright smile. I'm so sorry about that. I was actually hoping to look at that. If you don't mind.
Oh, I mind tremendously, actually. I need this, but I don't know why.
Like, does the excuse me blink? You don't know why you
I have
need it.
absolutely no idea.
Well, I'm sure there are other very pretty things.
This is the one.
But,
Just a moment, please. And he'll sit down and start casting Identify.
as you sit down to start ritually casting Identify,
Yeah.
there's suddenly something strange going on. So a lot of things happen kind of very quickly. Zoe, in your mind, you hear, "Stop them. Stop them." Eldar, you sit down and you feel like a warm breeze, like a nice summer day. And Muse, in your mind, you hear from your familiar, "What is that? Why is that here?"
You mean what?
Din looks perturbed, like they're fluttering their wings. "That's from the Feywild." And in that moment, there is a sudden crash as you all look around and you see, bounding from behind the counters, something that none of you have ever seen before, or maybe you have. I'm going to describe it and I'll let you guys roll something. But they look like tall goat men almost. They have hooves for feet, and their feet are bent almost like a goat's, and they have fur, and they have little goat tails behind them, and they're about the size of a man, about a human, a little taller maybe, but they have the face of a goat with horns in the back of their head and goat eyes, and they rush from behind the shop and start rushing towards you. All of you can roll me, what would that be? Give me a second.
I would think that would be Arcana.
Yeah, Knowledge Arcana.
Would Muse have advantage?
Yes, actually, and so would Eldar.
Ah,
I wouldn't.
3
no.
natural runs in 4 rolls. That's amazing.
Okay. I will describe what these are that you both know. You both know about the same, and you will both know why you know. These are called gruffs. They are from the Feywild, and they are commonly used as not soldiers or shock troops, but usually they're sent to hunt for something. And I would like all of you to roll me some initiative, please.
So I can't click on my token. I can't.
Hello, Blue.
Hello, Squee.
How are you?
Oh, I'm good. I've had some Chinese food. I'm, you know.
Yeah, no, I know. I was there.
I know. Yeah, I know.
I got some too.
I know. I was the sugar parent for the evening.
Yes, you were. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Welcome to your session 0.
Thank you.
Your cohorts are having theirs as we speak, as due to the magic of video editing.
Yeah. The shrieks from downstairs are still fresh in my mind.
Yeah. Even days later.
Yeah. Also, petition for cohorts to now be spelled like that.
All for it.
Okay, cool.
So, we're setting the scene. We are in the Underdark, in a rather small neck of the woods as compared to the Underdark in general, but a very clean-ish area. It is a tribe, a rather large tribe of kobolds. These kobolds are the servants of a very powerful and very old sapphire dragon by the name of Omri. That is not what I wanted to show.
That's not her.
That is not her. Give me a second. That is...
I'm sure he thinks he's old and powerful too.
I'm sure he does, but that is not for now. That is... Just gonna move that over here. Give me a second, everyone. Of course.
You can fix it in post.
There
she
we
is.
go. No. People wouldn't think this was me DMing if I didn't make mistakes.
Are you just telling me that all dragons are interchangeable, Squee? Is this
Absolutely
will you tell
not.
me that you're
I
dragon racist?
would never. They can eat me.
What? No, there would be consequences to that opinion.
Omri is an ancient sapphire dragon, regal and well-spoken, and while I'm not sure I'd go so far as to say kind-hearted, she is generally good-natured and looks after her kobold servants. However, of late, of the past few years, she has been growing weaker, and there have been whispers among the kobold tribe that their... what do they view her as? Their mother, their goddess, their leader? How do they view Omri?
Like a fine blend between like a fine blend between a queen and a god.
Okay, so let's use queen for now. They whisper about their queen because it seems unbelievable. They don't really know why. To be fair, most of the kobolds don't really know much of the history other than she has always been here and will always be here because, good lord, generation for kobolds is like, what, 5 years? Maybe
At age
8?
4.
Yeah.
They usually retire at the ripe old age of 10.
Right. So we'll say a generation for kobolds is 7 years.
Yeah.
Um,
Pud has outstripped them by 1 year, and they're very proud of it.
So, one day, in this large collective of kobolds, Omri calls for an audience of all the kobolds, and from among them chooses 10, including one very special one. A kobold that stands slightly taller than most, and is slightly broader at shoulder, just a little bigger. But what's more important is they wear a suit of armor. Would you like to describe the armor for me? The way it looks, at least right now at this moment?
Sure. It is beautifully detailed plate mail. It is silver, like condensed moonlight with ripples of gold. It's beautifully detailed at the edges to look like dragon scales. And it is incredibly sturdy and well made.
She selects these 10, and she begins to tell a story. But as we tell the story, a small kobold, a bit smaller than the others around it with very short horns, quietly tries to catch up and run into the room. As Pud is late from their ambassadorial duties. Pud, would you like to... Blue, would you like to describe Pud to us? I was going to say, Pud, would you like to describe Blue?
Well, it's a color.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah, Pud is a relatively small kobold. They're a little bit scrawny. Their horns are very short, almost non-existent. They're sort of they're kind of a muddier color than the typical red, almost brown, and are otherwise almost totally unremarkable among the teeming throngs of all of their other kobold brethren, and they blend in almost immediately, disappearing into the crowd.
But today is a special day for Pud. See, normally Pud has been given the prestigious position, I'm using air quotes, of being an ambassador to the gnomes of the Underdark, which I believe Pud rather enjoys.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, gnomes are great. The gnomes seem to think it's a big deal.
But the kobolds around you don't really
Yeah.
seem
No.
to think it's a big deal. And you certainly weren't called here to be one of the 10 chosen. But, once this gathering is over, you have been told you will have the express honor, dare I say, present, of cleaning up and rearranging the dragon's hoard so that you can sleep well.
Okay. Cool.
And as you quietly run into the room, come to a stop, you hear Omri is talking to all the kobolds. My children, as you know, I have been growing weaker of late. I do not know why. I do not know what is affecting me. But I must call upon you, my champions. Many years ago, before any of you were born, a shadow of myself, an echo, named Shiveros, grew mad with power and attempted to consume all of my echoes, my other selves, in an attempt to become, well, like a god. In order to protect my echoes, my brothers and sisters, I gave a part of myself to each of them. 7 parts of my soul, 7 trinkets I gave to protect them. And then, once they were safe, I hunted down and killed Shiveros myself. But now I need those pieces of me. To regain my strength, I must have them back. I need you, you brave 10, and my champion, the Mithril Knight, to brave the depths of a place called Undermountain. It is a dangerous place run by a mad human with great power. But I sense my echoes have been drawn there, for reasons I know not why. But you, bravest and fiercest of all my warriors, I need you to go to this Undermountain and reclaim my trinkets. You will find my echoes, dragons of different color, of different creed, of different essence. And when you do, you simply have to say to them, your echo asks you to return that which was given. And then she looks up and around, and then back down. There will be a guide to guide you to this Undermountain. However, it would seem they have not arrived yet, and I cannot wait any longer. Mithril Knight! And the kobold in the gleaming plate mail stands up just a little bit taller. Hunt well, and serve me well. And the Mithril Knight bows almost solemnly for a kobold. And the 10 warriors pick up their gear, their weapons, their tattered armor, their ratty shields, and march out of the cavern. Now, go, the rest of you, as Omri kind of waves her claw and then settles back down in the piles of gemstones at her feet. And all the kobolds start murmuring quietly and filtering out. What does Pud do?
Pud stays towards the back, sticking to the shadows as many, many pairs of feet walk past them, and they wait for their turn to perhaps speak with the dragon. They bear no ill tidings, simply just a report of what has been learned and the goings-on that the gnomes give them, as is fairly commonplace for them to do.
So as everyone else filters out of the room, and there's only you remaining, the massive, ancient sapphire dragon opens one eye, sensing there's still a presence. Ah, our little ambassador. Is it time to report so soon?
Pud sort of puffs up to their full 2.5 foot tall height, and chirps very happily. Yes, my lady. If you would, prefer your rest, I can come later.
She waves a claw dismissively. Nonsense. Please, come closer.
They do so immediately.
Ah, Pud. It has been several years since you have been in my service. How fares your time with the gnomes?
Oh, most excellent, my lady. They are, very knowledgeable about, things I had not heard of or seen. It has been an honor and a pleasure to know them and to speak with them.
And tell me, how goes your creations?
Oh, they go on their own, actually. I almost don't need to watch them anymore.
She closes her eyes momentarily and then opens them again. You do not have much status among your kin, do you, Pud?
Pud shifts kind of uncomfortably. No, my lady. I am of, the rank of the Shorthorn.
And yet you have been made a diplomat. I know several of your kin would scoff and think it's unimportant. Do you think it's an unimportant position, Pud?
Pud sort of tucks their chin to their chest. Any, position designated by my lady is an honor.
And if I were not involved, if your kin were on their own, would you think your position would still be important?
Pud kind of thinks about that. They seem to be having trouble computing. They do not deem it important without my lady's say.
There's a sigh. A very expected answer. I think it is important. Do you know why?
Because my lady values, the peace and knowledge of the lands beyond, is what I was told.
Ah, knowledge. Do you value knowledge, Pud?
Pud nods. Oh, yes, very much.
Good. Well then, give me your knowledge. Tell me of your time there. And we don't have to roleplay word by word, but Pud would, I assume, give a report.
Yeah, they tell her all about, there's been a mushroom harvest, the inner workings of the guild, who's gone where, what's been made, what advances, news of the surrounding lands, any movements of the Dark Hunters, anything that they can think of that has been told to them. As well as a short acknowledgement from the guild leader, once again commending the dragon for continuing this program.
Yes. Exchange program, except no gnomes have been exchanged. A
Yeah.
half exchange program.
Uh-huh.
During your report, Omri many times closes her eyes, and her breathing softens, almost to the point where one might even start to think she might have been asleep. But
The volume drops to a whisper. Like she didn't tell them they could stop, but they're also don't want to wake her up again.
but at random times, even though it may look like she's sleeping, she will ask you for clarification or correct a draconic verb, as I assume Pud is doing their very best draconic at the moment.
Oh yes, this is formal draconic.
So it's clear that she is awake and she is paying attention, despite the closed eyes and serene breathing.
Mm-hmm.
It gives very much the impression of like someone's had a long day, they've come home from work, they're like, all right, talk to me, and I'm just going to close my eyes and absorb this.
Mm-hmm.
And as you're almost finished, you hear a fluttering, a flapping of quiet wings, and a small dragon lands on a rock near you. A fairy dragon. Has Pud ever seen a fairy dragon before?
I imagine they're relatively uncommon in the Underdark, given their preferred diet and environment.
Correct. Would Pud know what one is?
That's a dragon. They don't know what kind, but they immediately shut up when it shows up.
Hi. Okay. I'm here. And when that small little voice that resounds louder than you would expect a creature that could almost fit on your shoulder, the size of a medium cat, the eyes of Omri open. You are late. Oh, apologies for that. I took a left when I should have taken a right. Omri snorts, and you see, like, you can actually feel, like, hot, almost like humid air, right?
Mm-hmm.
You are to guide the Mithril Knight and his kind back to your home, to my echoes. We agreed. Yes, we did agree, of course. I will absolutely do that right away. And it flaps around in a circle and then lands back on the rock. Just, the fairy dragon literally licks a talon and sticks it up in the air. Have to find them. There's another long pause where Omri closes her eyes, probably a bit tighter than needed. Pud,
Yes, my lady.
would you be so kind as to show our guest to the Mithril Knight and his guard so that he may fulfill his delinquent purpose?
Oh, yes, my lady, if you would trust me with such a thing.
I trust you, Pud. Please, deliver them to the Mithril Knight, and then return here and continue about your duties.
Pud bows. Yes, my lady. Uh, uh, They look at the fairy dragon. How may I address you?
Ah, Otto. My name is Otto.
Very well, Otto. If you will, come with me. The Mithril Knight and company likely took the, low northern road out, and I can show you to them.
Excellent. Wonderful. And the fairy dragon flaps its wings and alights upon, I would say, your shoulder, but more likely it's like one talon on either side.
Yeah.
Like a cat that stands on both your shoulders.
Yeah.
And as it does so, Omri opens one eye again. Pud, it might be best, in case they forget. Do you remember what they are meant to say should they meet any dragons in Undermountain?
Yes, ma'am. Your echo asks you to return that which was given to them.
Good. Remind our champion, if you would.
Yes, my lady, of course.
Thank you. You may go.
Bud bows again, probably sloshing the little fairy dragon around, and then immediately zips from the room.
You find that the Otto is fairly light on your shoulders, all things considered, given their size, and they seem fairly quiet as you start making your way towards the group. They should only have a good 15, 20, maybe 30-minute head start, not too far. But as you start making your way, you realize, oh, they must have made good time. Perhaps the Mithril Knight and his gang were in such an eager that they broke out at a run to get there as fast as possible. But
Oh, good.
you follow the paths, and after a time, on your shoulders, Otto says, "So, why we headed to Undermountain? I mean, I know why I'm going to Undermountain. I live there, but why you?"
Oh, I'm not going to Undermountain.
Right. You're just the messenger. Why are the better, more noble kobolds going to Undermountain?
Oh, did my lady not tell you? She said she made an agreement with you. I would have assumed that she would have told you, if you are so important to this quest.
It puffs up its chest. Little kobold, are you daring to suggest that you do not answer a dragon's question?
Oh, the other kobolds are going, because they wish to, take back something that was given to the echoes of Lady Omri, something that should, ideally, stop her decline into ill health.
Oh. That sounds boring.
Well, the alternative is much worse, so, we will do this.
It flaps its wings once or twice, and then it's quiet for some time, and then Pud. Pud. Pud, 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 pud. What a weird name.
They nod, probably sloshing him around again. Oh, yes. We all have strange names. It's just kind of the first thing that somebody else comes up with when they look at us.
Is it short for something? Puddleglum? Puddididididoo?
It's short for puddle, and it's extra short for mud puddle. They pat their own face on account of the darker coloration.
There's a snort from the dragon above you. How absolutely demeaning. Interesting.
It's not so bad. I don't fancy getting my feet wet, but puddles are all right. They never talk back to you.
Yes, this is true. You're an odd one, even for a kobold.
Yes, I have been told.
And as you say that, you realize, like, gosh, they can't be that far. You've already left the Kobold tribal territory. You're already out into the Underdark proper. You've been traveling for a good 30 to 40 minutes. And
Is this about the time where they have to slow down and be like, okay, we need to be
yeah,
a little
yeah,
bit more careful?
yeah, exactly.
Eh.
Not even just that, but it's more like they sit down because, like, okay, we, full plates, not
Uh-huh.
as easy as it looks. You know, like, you always have those people, like, when you're running a marathon, you have those people that take off too quickly because they're too enthusiastic.
Yeah.
So you can see, like, oh, okay, tracks are starting to slow down. How good is Pud at reading tracks? I'm curious.
Do you want me to roll something?
Yeah, let's have you roll your first die. Let's roll a survival check. Yeah, well enough. I mean, well enough to track your own kin's tracks in your own tunnels.
Right. I mean, it's a fucking fairly straightforward tunnel.
Exactly.
Like, there's not a lot of diversions they could have taken.
Couldn't have gone either way, really.
Uh-huh. Well, that one goes down to the Shulker Caverns, and that one goes down to this weird slimy thing with lots of tentacles, so they couldn't have gone that way.
And I'll tell you, I mean, you're pretty sure with that roll, you haven't passed them.
Yeah.
Like, you would have noticed going through 10 kobolds.
Yeah.
But as you finish talking to Otto, you start to hear sounds. Clashing of armor. Sounds of battle.
Pud screeches to a halt and immediately, like, shrinks into the shadows. Shh.
What? Why? Why shish?
Shh. You hear that?
There's a pause. Yes. Sounds like fighting.
Oh, yes, that's not good. That's not good. We should, and without asking for permission, they start creeping forward. Pud, who did not bring really any, they have, like, a dagger, maybe. They have all of their tools around their belt are clanking. They've got, like, smith's tools and a hammer. And they're, like, feeling through all of their tools for something sharp.
So as you start crawling forward, the fairy dragon alights off your shoulders and onto the ground next to you and starts almost like mimicking you playfully. Is this sneaking? Is this what you call sneaking? Roll me a stealth check, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty
Oh,
good sneaking.
Yeah, so that's a 25. I'm not wearing any armor.
No, you're not wearing any armor yet.
Why did it auto do that? That sucks.
Because it thinks you're wearing heavy armor.
Yeah, can
no
I
worries.
undo that?
Oh,
We'll figure it out later.
We'll figure it out. But he's like, is this what you call sneaking? Because, I mean, it's not bad. It crawls along.
Thank you. Yes, I've been told that they pat their own face. The brown helps me blend into the rocks, is what I've been told. But we should go see what's happening.
You know what really helps you blend in?
What?
And the dragon disappears.
Oh, yes, that would. Please, don't stand in front of me. I don't want to step on you.
You hear nothing.
Yeah, and then Pud is just gonna assume that they can take care of their own business because they're a dragon,
Right.
and begins to subtly make their way towards the sounds of fighting.
So you make your way towards the sounds of fighting, and you see that there is a ledge that drops about 10 feet below you, with a ramp of sorts that's been haphazardly made over the years, and an area that slopes down a good 20 feet below you. And using your dark vision, you see a sight that is... Well, it makes your blood run cold. The Mithril Knight and the 10 kobolds are engaged with dark hunters. Or what was it the kobolds call them?
They're dark hunters,
Yes, dark hunters. 5 of them. They look tall humanoid with white hair and pointy ears with ebony black skin. Several of them have swords, a few of them even 2 curved swords. They are engaged with the kobolds, and the kobolds are not doing well, with one exception. The Mithril Knight. Shield in one hand and sword in the other, the Mithril Knight takes on one of the Dark Hunters with double blades, and seems to be driving them back. But that's to be expected. It is the Mithril Knight, after all. But the rest of the kobolds are not faring so well. What do you do?
Pud watches this for about 10 seconds and then, almost frozen in fear when you see something that you're so, just seeing something that is so frightening to you that you can't move for a second. And then they, shake themselves off and stamp their little feet and immediately look for some way to help.
Okay. Roll me a perception check. Okay. I assume Pud's not looking to get, directly involved. They're not going to be charging in there.
They are unarmored. They have a dagger.
Yeah.
They have some bugs. They have all their tools, and they have some bugs that they've worked on.
Right, some bugs. Gotcha. So Pud looks around, wondering how to help and what you could help, and you notice something. You're still higher up above them, about a good 20 feet up above where the battle is taking place, because you haven't descended the ramp or the little ridge. And you see that this is the Underdark. So the Underdark is basically collections of rooms, just some bigger and some smaller, right?
Uh-huh.
This is a rather large room, and the ridge that you're on continues around the side, where there are several stalagmites, stalactites. I forget which one's the ones that grow upwards. I believe stalagmites?
Stalagmites grow up from the floor. Stalactites grow down from the ceiling.
That's what I was thinking. Several stalagmites, and one catches your eye. If you were to travel along the edge of the room, you could travel to where you're kind of abreast of the fighting. There's a stalagmite there that's a rather large one that looks as if it's kind of tilting. And if you could find some way to unhinge it, you might be able to roll it down and crush the Dark Hunters. Which, wow, how glorious would that be, to kill a Dark Hunter?
The prestige!
You could go back and report to Omri that you helped the party? The Mithril Knight?
Oh, hell yeah. Okay, yeah, we're doing that. Pud immediately scuttles along that ridge, and immediately looks over this massive chunk of rock for any weaknesses it might have. Does it look like it might, at some point in the future, topple over under its own weight?
It does. It looks like that it's grown so large that the area that it's on, perhaps it's softer rock or something of that nature, has started to give way, and the stalagmite is tilting to where sooner or later it looks like it would go on its own. But that could be
cool.
a year or 10 or...
Let's call it now. Pud dips into their bag and pulls out about 5 different palm-sized beetles. They're small and metallic, and they are, all 5 of them are exactly identical, but they pick up each one and very carefully hold it up to their head and listen to it. Shake their head to the first one and the second one and the third one, but the fourth one, they shake it, and they sniff it, and then they shake it again and listen to it. And then stop miming the music. And then they hold this one aloft, this one that the gnomes had helped them make, this one that is imbued with the magic of the guild that had helped them and taught them so much. This beetle that has a spell encased within it. This beetle that has the spell Enlarge Reduce contained within it. And they take it and they sort of pop the wings open, and then they, almost like you're like sticking something to a wall. They slap the little bug onto the massive chunk of rock, and they do a couple of calculations in their mind for a minute, and they're hoping that this magic is successfully contained the way they wanted it to, and then they back the fuck up, actually, as they have activated the Beetle of Enlarge.
As you're actually doing those calculations and finishing them up, you notice that a fairy dragon pops into existence on top of the stalagmite that you're trying to attach the beetle to and do the calculations on. It is legitimately crouched and has one hand elbow propped on the stalagmite and the hand almost cupping their would you call that a muzzle? Cupping their chin, their snout. Thank you, their snout. What you doing?
You're going to want to move, and you're going to want to move in the next 5 seconds.
Wow, how
they're holding up a they're holding up a hand. 5, 4.
You don't
3,
tell me what to
2,
do, little kobold.
1, 0.
And what happens?
The stalagmite grows one size bigger as it counts as an object.
Yes. So the stalagmite that they're sitting on starts to grow, and they like flap their wings in surprise, and they're like, "What the? Oh!" And it actually Otto flies around to land on the ground next to you, as the stalagmite continues to grow. What was the size of probably a large creature, right? Probably what was a 10-foot stalagmite becomes a 20-foot long, probably 10-foot in diameter stalagmite. And after a second, there's nothing that happens. You just hear the sound of battle below you, and then there's a...
And as that happens, Pud cups their hands around their mouth and shrieks in a sort of mangled draconic, a kobold dialect called Yip Yak. They shriek, "Look out below!"
And as you say that, the stalagmite begins to tumble. First, it tumbles end over end, but then, as momentum gathers, it begins to roll on its side down the slope. The combat that was below you stops, not only at the sound of your cry, but at the sound of the noise of the stalagmite tumbling down the edge. And everyone looks up as this massive, rolling stone death plummets towards the Dark Hunters. And you look on, and victory rises in your heart as you see it rolling directly for the kobolds.
It's that moment of, oh no.
Calculations weren't quite everything you thought they were, at least not when it comes to trajectory. It starts rolling because, oh no, you didn't take into account the fact that one side's not as thick in diameter as the other, and that might cause it to roll to the side a bit. And it crashes into the kobolds. The Dark Hunters jump out of the way as this thing rolls over them like a rolling pin. And there is a moment where you see the Mithril Knight point to you and begin to say something before the Mithril Knight and the hand that was pointing is engulfed by stone. The stalagmite continues to roll past them to the side of the cavern, and with a thunderous crash, it finally stops. And again, there is silence. And then you hear beside you. As the fairy dragon literally rolls on its back, laughing uncontrollably.
As Pud looks on in a horror, what are the Dark Hunters just watching this happen, or are they gone?
They, one or two look up towards you. The rest just kind of look at the carnage that was their opponents. They look at
Pud is
each
just
other.
standing there, like with hands over face.
And let me see here. Do you understand Undercommon?
Yes, I do.
You hear, well, that little one took care of everything for us. Should we kill it too? No. No. Someone has to clean up the mess. And all the Dark Hunters laugh. And the one that was fighting the Mithril Knight just kind of puts both swords on its shoulders and turns around on its heel, and the Dark Hunters just start walking away, laughing almost as loud as the fairy dragon next to you.
Pud just crumples.
Ooh,
Like they've
ooh.
like down on hands and knees, like hands over their head.
You got them. Oh boy. Wiped out that hole. Definitely stop that fight. Like the wings of Otto are like drumming on the floor almost like the heels of a human would. Oh, 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 whew. Oh, ah, and Otto rolls over and stands up. Whew. Oh no. What are you gonna do? Weren't they supposed to go get the talisman for Omri?
There's like a tea kettle noise.
Wait, if you hurry, maybe you can go ask the drow to do it for you. And he like rolls over again in an uncontrolled fit of laughter for the second time. They owe you a favor.
Silence from the kobold on the floor.
Eventually, the laughter subsides. Otto gets back to his feet. But really, I guess we should go back and tell Omri that she's going to have to choose a new Mithril Knight. Aren't they supposed to be a big thing? Even I've heard about them. I mean, they're smaller now. I'm sorry. This is serious. This is really serious. What are you going to do?
There's a little miserable voice. I don't know. She's gonna kill me.
Probably. Yep. Probably. Might eat you. Or, ooh, or she might tear you apart one scale at a time. Who can say? Ooh. Can I watch? Nah, actually, that's a bit too gross for me. But I at least want to be there when it starts. I'm sorry. This must be. Whew, what a day. I mean, here you were, just talking to your what is she like? Your queen, and doing the good work, and then all of a sudden, there goes your whole future up in smoke. I hope you didn't make any plans for next Tuesday, cause I think you might miss him. Serious. This is serious. Whew.
Bud has sat back on their haunches and is staring down the hill. And they have this very blank look on their face as they are doing some calculations in their head.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
As you're doing that, Otto flutters down, and you hear, "Yep, this one's dead." A few seconds later, oh yeah, this one's definitely dead." A few seconds later, whoa, whoa. "Oh no, wait, this one's a lot. Nope, that's just twitching. Definitely dead." And like this continues as Otto seems to be rather enjoying themselves.
Calculations continue, and then eventually, maybe like 10 minutes pass where they're just staring at the carnage and the blood splattered stone. And then they stand up and they dust themselves off and they start to clamber down this ledge.
When you get down to the ledge, to the floor, you see that Otto is actually jumping up and down on the silver plate mail. It's amazing. It's still intact. Like, the kobold inside this thing is dead, but not a scratch on the armor. That's impressive. It's like actually like jumping up and down. What is this made out of? Oh, mithril, probably. Hence the mithril knight. Oh, I get it. Hey, Pud! Hey, Pud! The armor's safe at least. You didn't destroy everything.
And Pud trots over. They have a very strange blank look on their face. As they don't even like look twice at the dead kobolds, but they are focused on this armor. And they come over and start. I assume that there are some pieces scattered about.
Yes.
Pick up the nearest. Like pick up a gauntlet, shake the expired contents out of it. And begin examining it.
You think maybe if, you collect all the pieces and kind of put it together, maybe Omri won't notice it's empty?
Pud turns the gauntlet over and over in their hands. It's not empty.
Oh? Like, Otto suddenly looks up from their giggling.
Pud continues to have this strange look on their face. I mean, kobolds die all the time, right? We're pretty interchangeable.
Otto kind of cocks their head to the side. Interchangeable. I suppose.
Pud continues to collect pieces, shaking out the blood and gore on the inside, picking out little pieces of bone and flicking them away.
With a sudden interest, Otto starts walking beside you, Still like half your height. Almost. Little Pud, what are you doing?
Well, I'd like to think I'm being pragmatic.
Well, okay. I mean, you did help your friends win a fight by killing them all, thus stopping the fight. I think you've been pretty pragmatic so far. So why not? Keep it
Pud
going.
waves a hand. Pud waves a hand. Oh, we weren't friends. I didn't really like them that much anyways. And kobolds die all the time. You really get used to it after a while. But I was thinking, Lady Omri really needs this to get done, you see. And, well, she did send a kobold to do it, didn't she? So, I don't suppose it really matters at the end of the day which one does it, just as long as it gets done.
Otto walks in front of you. You're carrying like a pile of armor now,
Uh-huh.
right? Walks in front of you and hops up on its hind legs, which, size of a largish cat. They could probably get their head to about your chest level.
Mhm.
And puts the claws on the pile. Wait. Let me make sure I got this straight. You, Pud, Mud Puddle, the
Uh-huh.
diplomat to the gnomes. You are the new Mithril Knight. The Mithril Knight, the greatest champion of Omri's kobolds.
Uh, well, let's set some reasonable expectations here. Let me start by saying that I don't expect this to go well, and I don't expect to survive. But I think that it really counts that I tried, especially because I can't exactly, you know, they wave a hand towards the tunnel they came from. Go home now. So really, I would count this as just about rock bottom, and I really think that there's really only room to go up from here.
Your reply is another uncontrolled fit of laughter as Otto begins rolling on the floor again. So much so that they actually hiccup and turn invisible for a second. Then there's a snort. And I don't mean like a dragon snort, I mean like a laugh snort.
Uh huh.
And they reappear, flying behind you. Oh, oh boy. Oh wow. This has been a very entertaining day. Put it on. Does it fit? I want to see. You know, he was a lot bigger than you.
Hud, with an unexpectedly steely glare, looks up and pulls their tools from their belt. Um, it's not about whether or not it fits. It's about whether or not I can make it fit.
Oh, I like the. What's the word to use? I feel like optimism's giving you too much credit. The
Uh,
gumption. I like the gumption. Though, let me make sure I've got this straight. Like, as you start tinkering away, right? And
uh,
actually, perhaps I should let you describe what exactly is Pud doing to the armor.
uh, Pud has lined it all up and is very carefully, with a couple of their. I'm sure they've got like a a measuring tape, and they've got all of their little tools for measuring angles, and they are very carefully aligning it, propping it up with stones so that they can look at it in entirety. And then they are starting to they can't do a lot right now because they just don't have like fire.
Right.
But largely what they're doing is they are adjusting the straps a little bit just so that they can put it on, not necessarily so that it fits, because they will probably need to spend several hours on that. But they are at least pulling it on, or making it wearable. It'll look ridiculous, but
Right.
it will be wearable.
So as Pud is doing this, Otto is walking back and forth on all fours, wings. I imagine a fairy dragon doesn't really fold their wings so much as just display them behind them.
I imagine they could just kind of like fold them like moth wings, like just kind of tent them behind them.
Yeah, is walking back and forth. So let me make sure I've got this straight. You're going to put on the armor of the Mithril Knight, pretend to be the Mithril Knight, walk into Undermountain, find all 7 echoes that are down there, ask them for whatever the talismans were that you need, and hope no one notices.
Hmm. I think that I am choosing to see this a different way. I am choosing to see this as I am going to put on the armor, and therefore, when I put on the armor, I will be the Mithril Knight because the old one is dead. And then I will go on and I will look for the echoes, and I will probably inevitably die doing so, but I will die in the service of my dragon, and that's enough for me. And maybe I can at least get far enough that she can return to good health in all optimism, I suppose.
Oh boy. And they hop a little bit. Oh, this just gets better and better and better. Oh, Pud,
What?
only one problem. In order for
Um,
this to.
is
Mhm.
is the inevitable death not a problem? I was kind of thinking that was a major roadblock, but if you're not counting that as a problem, that's quite the vote of confidence, so thank you.
Well, let's just say that I don't feel that's a problem for me. But a large problem is that in order for this to work, no one has to know what you did. I'm pretty sure Omri would not be very happy or pleased about Pud the Mighty destroying her 10 champions and then taking the armor for themselves. Agreed? In
They
fact,
sh- they shuffle their feet a little bit.
in fact,
Um,
that might look downright traitorous.
um, yeah, I suppose it does look bad, yes.
Well, good thing for you. All the witnesses are dead or dark hunters that kobolds wouldn't trust anyway. Wait. No! It turns around with like mock surprise and shock. There is one more witness.
I won't be
Me.
telling anybody, actually, thank you. Oh, you! Oh, yes. Well, I suppose that, well, immediately they narrow their eyes. Well, are you going to tell her?
Hmm. That's a really tough question. On the one hand, I very much enjoy the sheer audacity of what you're trying to do. On the other hand, I am very small compared to Omri, and she could swat me like a bug. So hiding things from her is generally not on my list of to-dos. What a conundrum. You know, if I had some sort of guidance, one might even say incentive, to choose one path over the other, why, that would be swell.
Bud stares blankly. Um, I don't have anything on me. Um, they like pat their little bag. Well, that's not true. I have they pull out. I have a knife. They put it on the ground. I have oh, I have pliers. I have pliers. I have a whole host of beetles. You can take your pick if you like.
It looks at them and then just kind of scoffs. That, what? No, what use do I have for beetles?
Uh, they're extremely useful when applied properly. Um, like the one you saw before just so happened to be very good at, uh, well, they gesture to the carnage. It did exactly what it was supposed to do. I just, yeah, didn't account for the angles.
Ha. Uh, yeah, thank you, but no thank you. Maybe if you can't give me items that I really have no interest in, maybe you could give me something else.
Um, Are you asking to kill me?
What? No. Not asking to kill you at all.
Oh, well, that's good then. Um, well, that's very good, I suppose. I rather knew I liked you. Um, so what do you want exactly? As you see, don't have many dragon-worthy treasures at the moment. Besides, um, that they point to the armor, and um, well, it needs a bit of cleaning, I think, before it's dragon-worthy.
Well, there is one thing that a dragon loves almost more than gold.
Well, I haven't any jewels either.
No, no, you don't. In fact, everything you have, you're pretty much taking from kobolds that you killed.
Excuse me, my beetles are mine, and the knife I got from a gnome.
Uh-huh. That is technically true.
So if we're counting the knife and the beetles and the armor, the things that I didn't take off of dead kobolds do outnumber the things that I am taking from the dead kobolds so far.
I'm much more interested in secrets. And maybe even treasure.
Um, hmm. Well, um, well, I did see who uh who dumped all of the eggs into Spotted Tail's stew that one time. I did see that. I didn't do it, but I did see who did it, and then I said I didn't. Um, and there was one time that um, I hid under one of the gnomes under their table, and I ate their food when they weren't looking. They thought they found out later, but it was a secret at the time. They thought it was very funny.
Hmm. No. No, I have a better idea. Ah! And this whole time they've been walking back and forth as if they're half listening to you, half thinking, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ah, I know. I know of something somewhere in Undermountain where I live. There is an item that I've been wanting for a very, 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 very long time.
That is counting the varies on their fingers. Okay. What's it do?
It's a ring. I've been wanting a ring that, well, you don't need to know what it does, but you do need to know what it looks like. It has a green eye on it, and the ring itself is golden. And this ring is, well, somewhere, I'm not really sure. It was in my lair, it was taken from me, and I've been very sad ever since. So, I'll make you a deal. I will keep your secret, and just fail to mention to Omri that her mission failed. In fact, why I'm supposed to be guiding the Mithril Knight to Undermountain, I'll just fail to come back and report. I was never exactly part of the deal. And in return, my dear Mithril Knight, you will find this ring to me and bring it to me.
Okay. So it's a gold ring with a green eye on it, and it does something that you're not going to tell me about. And you want it back because it was stolen from you.
Yes, from me. Yes,
Well, who stole it
stole.
from you?
Well, The problem with that is there's these giants, and they seem to have a bit of a memory issue, and I think one of them took it from me, but then they forgot that they took it from me. But they don't have it. I've looked everywhere. So my guess is it's somewhere else in the dungeon. Maybe they sold it to someone for something, but again, they don't remember. They never remember.
Well, if you looked everywhere, then how do you know that I'm going to be able to find it?
I looked everywhere where the giants are. I haven't looked everywhere in Undermountain. Are you crazy? It's dangerous over there.
Oh, is
Which
it?
is
I
why
thought it
it's...
was just under a mountain.
Actually, believe it or not, there's no mountain above it. It's more that people act like it is a mountain in reverse.
So there's snow at the bottom? There's snow on top of mountains, right?
Yes. I'll be fair with you. I've never understood the name much either. But somewhere is this ring. You find this ring and you bring it to me in Madgoth's castle. Can you remember that? Madgoth's castle?
Mad Goth's castle? What's a
Yes.
goth?
It's part of a name.
Is it like moth but with a G?
Yes. Yes, that's very accurate.
Okay. All right. Someone didn't know how to spell. Okay. All right. So I'm bringing it to you in a castle somewhere, and there are giants who also live in the castle. Are they
No,
nice?
they don't live in the castle.
Oh,
They live
okay.
around the castle. But no, the castle is my domain, and only those I wish enter it. Well, except for Madgoth. And I know his name's on it, but really it's mine, because he's never there. If he is there, though, tread lightly.
What does he look like? And I don't think I
Like a
can tread
wizard,
any. What does a wizard look like?
like Madgoth. Obviously.
Okay, well, I guess I'll have to start asking people if they're wizards. Is that well, what's a wizard? What does it do?
Kills things. Usually with fire, sometimes ice. Uh, Once in a while it dries up their flesh until it crinkles.
So, like a very small dragon.
No. Like a very normal sized human? Maybe they're an elf. I don't know. I've never gotten a close enough look at them. But they're bad news. So, they like to lure people to my castle, even though it has their name on it. And then other wizards, they love luring other wizards and then killing them. Don't know why.
Seems like a rather good problem to have if wizards are a problem.
Yeah, I mean, it's not my problem. But if you happen to be a wizard, just, be careful. But more importantly, bring me the ring.
Okay, and don't let the mad moth see it.
Well, I was going to say more, don't let them see you. They're not very fond of strangers in their home. My home, strangers in my home.
Okay. Well, why do you keep calling it their castle if it's your castle? Shouldn't you just name it yours?
Well, see, problem with that is I kind of have a problem.
Okay, well, that is one thing we have in common. I have lots of problems now. So what is the problem with the name?
I physically can't call it anything else. See, one day I decided that Madgoth's castle would be my castle, and so I said as much, and Madgoth, did something to me, and now it is Madgoth's castle. But it's mine. It's my lair.
Okay, so what if I call it Otto's Castle Lair?
I rather like that.
Okay. Well, even if you can't call it that, at least somebody can.
Absolutely, I like this. So you will find this ring for me and bring it to. Say it again.
Otto's Castle Lair.
Ooh, shivers. Bring it there. And then in return, I will tell no one that you squishy-pied your friends. Not friends. You're not friends.
Even related. I don't know.
Oh, and in return, again, I will graciously guide you to Undermountain, taking time out of my own day.
Aren't you just going home, though?
But I am helping you.
Oh.
Eldar,
Yeah.
you go first. You just sat cross-legged on the ground, holding this dark pendant. You look up, you see Gruffs rushing at you, which you've not seen in a while. And even back then, it wasn't often.
This is certainly interesting. It's a shame that those guys are so close, isn't it?
Hmm.
Oh, tieflings are fire resistant, right?
You don't know what those are. There are.
James does.
Yes, but Ardenfell does not have tieflings yet.
Gotcha. Okay. I don't know what those are then. I don't know what spells I've got yet. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and cast a thing at them. I'm gonna go. Let's see. Nope, that's super far away. Firebolt. I'm afraid. No. Mind Spike, actually.
Ooh. Nice.
With mind bullets.
With mind bullets. Which one are you firing at?
That one.
Gotcha. And that is a... What is that? Wisdom save.
Yes.
Okay. Give me a second here. Character sheet. You're all gonna have to bear with me. I have not done this in so long.
Take your time.
Wisdom save. Do they have any? Nope, they don't. So. Oh, wow. He saves against it, so it takes half damage.
Yep. Just 3d8. 6 points of damage.
All right, he takes 6
Bonus
points.
action, he's gonna put the necklace in his inner side pocket and close the zip, and then put the lock on it.
Gotcha. All right. That is your turn. Zoe, you're next.
Zoe's really confused on what's going on. She's not understanding why there's been violence. She's a little concerned for Muse. The Eldar gentleman, or the fire gentleman, looks a little aggressive. So Zoe's going to pull out her mace and kind of step over here. And she's going to attack anything that comes towards her or Muse. Or, I guess, the lady.
Gotcha. Okay. So you're holding an action. If anything comes aggressively towards you or the lady, you will attack them.
I will.
Gotcha. All right. Muse, your turn. Oh, wow.
Uh-huh. Okay. Whew. That's not good. Could I roll a I don't know. Would it be like an insight or maybe like a history just to like check and see if like they're clearly after the necklace or if maybe she might know something or some other reason why they might be coming after something else?
Not anything you could roll. First of all, at the moment, you can't tell what they're after. They've just started charging. You don't even know if they're after you, the people in the front.
Yeah.
Right.
I guess what I'm trying to say is, could I roll an insight to see, like, who they seem to be targeting?
Not yet. Maybe when
Okay.
things go on a little further.
Okay. That's really irritating. Not you. My character sheet is being
No, that's fine. I
wonky for some
understand.
reason. Yeah, no, these guys, I'm guessing they're not known for negotiations.
No, they are sent to do things. Sometimes that means to find something and bring it back. Sometimes it means to kill something. Sometimes it means to accomplish some other weird task. But they are the ones that are sent to accomplish things.
Okay. Well, what she's going to do, would hold person work on them? Choose a humanoid you can see within range.
Yeah, I would say on these ones, yes.
Okay, cool. She's going to pick this guy, and they get to make wisdom saves.
Oh, they're so good at those, as we've already seen. First
Huh?
guy, second
What do you mean?
guy.
They rolled a natural 20.
That's what I was saying. They didn't roll it this time. So you said this one and this one?
Yeah, the two ones directly in front of these lovely purpley people.
Gotcha.
So she throws out a hand, and from the wooden flooring, these black gnarled branches just come rushing up and wrapping around them, like just jagged cages.
Gotcha. All right. The two individuals up front have a very visceral reaction of backing up, and you hear the female say, "Well, now this was unexpected," and the brother say, "Stay behind me." And that will be their turn, as it looks like the male is like, he starts putting his hands together and starts chanting something. That'll be their turn. As two of them are held, they'll make saving throws at the end of their turn. The other two, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, gets to here. He leaps over the table like it's nothing at all. In fact, they're making these like bounding movements. They're not just running, but they're like bounding with their feet. And this one gets to, let me just measure this out. There. Zoe, they are charging rather aggressively. They seem to be headed towards here. It's hard to tell who exactly. They happen to be right next to each other.
I'm gonna take a swing at that guy
Okay.
with my mace.
With your mace, that's a hit. That's 3 bludgeoning. Alright.
Oh, minimum damage. That's rough.
Alright, and we are back to Eldar.
Ah, how nice of you to join us. Now I can do the thing. He's gonna go ahead and blow flames at them. With, Actually, hold on. Hada. Does he know that these are fairly sentient creatures?
Yes.
Okay.
Extremely.
He is going to cast Detect Thoughts on this one, and immediately probe with the spell as well.
Oh. Interesting. Alright, what's the
15 Wisdom DC, and if he fails, he gains insight and reasoning into any thoughts that they're having. Oh, my fucking God, are you kidding me?
Oh. Oh
Why
boy.
do I keep rolling ones this session? And
I
why does
don't
everything
know.
keep rolling 20s against me?
I don't know. You
Bullshit.
still detect surface thoughts though, yes?
Yeah.
Kill them. Ambush worked.
Yeah. Could it be a disadvantage?
No, it can't.
Because I asked
Oh.
nicely.
Oh.
You didn't even say please.
I'll hang on. Let me consider it. No.
How about inspiration for making the new desk and the new overlay?
No.
Oh, good damn it.
I'm sorry, do I get inspiration for drawing all of the portraits?
If we went that way, like, she'd have inspiration for every roll for the next 8 sessions.
Can I do a recap of this session next session and retroactively add the
No!
fine.
Oh my gosh. Amazing. Zoe!
Oh, man.
If you only you hadn't used your portent just to snatch up that star.
It's worth it.
Yeah. So he's gonna smack the same guy with her mace.
Do it. Hit him. That is
Oh.
unfortunately a miss.
Dang it.
Anything else with your bonus action or whatnot?
Um,
You do have things like
bonus.
spiritual weapon.
I do. Is that a bonus?
It is. Bonus action to cast and use.
Alright, well, I will cast spiritual weapon.
Awesome. I have a thing, guys. I have spell things.
You do?
I do. Hang
That's
on.
wild.
Aha! I have one that is called Spiritual Weapon.
Nice.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Where would you like it to summon? It's anywhere, I think, within 30 feet of you.
Can I move it? No, I can't.
I'll give you control of it. Hang on.
Oh, you're good.
Details. Why did it go to dynamic lighting? Controlled by Zoe. There we go. You can control it now.
Yay! I'm gonna put it right behind him.
Gotcha.
Or in between them.
And that will be your attack. So you hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
Why is it asking me what level? I guess it's only a 2.
You could upcast it if you wanted, but yes, most likely it'll be a level 2.
Let's see, yeah.
So you both Muse and Eldar see the mace miss, but Zoe clutches a what is your holy symbol? Is it like a necklace you wear? Is it something on your armor, or what is your helm symbol?
It's a necklace.
Gotcha. So you would see her clutch her
Get back
necklace.
to on what it looks like.
Yeah, of course, of course. You'd see her clutch her helm necklace and whisper something, and a sword of spectral energy appears. Actually, would it be a sword? Would it be a mace, a hammer, a sickle, a broom?
Just a gauntlet that punches them.
Well, yeah, I was like a gauntlet with the eye on it.
So it's just a gauntlet with an eye. Appears behind them and just punches him in the back of the head, and the gruff just brays like, "Roar!" Anything else? Any movement or anything?
No, she's just gonna stay right there.
Gotcha. Muse.
So now that they're like all up in our biznatch, can she tell who they're going for, what they're going for?
Roll me an insight check at this point. No, it would be perception. It would be insight. You're not guessing their inner motives. Roll me perception.
24, let's go.
They are headed for... It's really hard to tell if it's you or Eldar, but very likely they're headed straight for that source.
Okay. So
I will say, this one is currently looking at behind it.
understandable.
This one's looking at you.
He's looking at me.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Muse is real quick going to ask Din, how important is it that we get that?
Not important at all.
Well, then why are they...
You'll have to
Just
have a
cuts
full
herself
conversation
off.
later.
Yep. So she... That's concentration. So then she will just... takes... She doesn't need to disengage because they're not...
Right, correct.
Okay, yep. So 5, 10, 15... 20. She's going to shit, you can't really reason with these guys, not like this. She's going to throw out oh god. Okay, so with a 24 perception, does she feel like she is directly in danger right now?
Yes, you
Or is
feel
this
very
like a
in
smash-
danger.
Okay, so this isn't just a smash and grab. They're looking to fuck someone up.
So
Okay.
right, so it's limited what you can tell, right? With a perception check, but yes, you feel like there is very hostile intent here.
I mean, considering she got like what, a 24 on her Arcana on these guys,
Right?
Or yeah, 25 on her Arcana. I feel like she knows their style pretty well. So yeah, she will throw out an Eldritch Blast at this dude right here.
Okay.
So, she'll use advantage from her Din.
Din provides aid. That's a 24.
Damn.
That hits.
That is not what I asked you to do.
I
There
don't
we
believe
go.
you have a spell save on an Eldritch Blast.
Nope. I'm not sure why that did that.
That's
but
fine.
that's that.
That's 11. Now, describe, what does your Eldritch Blast look like?
Let me just double check. Oh, I get 2 beams.
Yes, you do.
So one more time. Oh, no, that was a 12.
That misses.
Yep. But yeah, she throws out her hand and it's just this writhing ball of black and gold energy that flies out from her hand and smashes into him.
Nice. All right. That hits for 11 and hits him in the chest. And Eldar, you see like almost not almost like an explosion as it hits it full in the chest and causes it to stutter back a bit. And you see little motes of light. Roll me a perception, like it's a free action, Eldar.
Perception. I can do that.
Perception, yeah.
That's a thing that I can do.
Yeah, you see little motes of light trickle down where the Eldritch Blast hit both the Griff and then the shelf behind it where it missed. And they trickle down and they almost look like flying butterflies or moths or something like that. Just tiny little motes of light flapping like a butterfly floating to the ground.
He appears to be mildly interested at that.
Anything else, Muse?
Nope, just trying to keep some distance between her and the crazies.
Gotcha. The 2 individuals in the center of the room, the male starts putting his hands together, and you see the one that is obviously his sister step up in front of him and say very loudly, "You can't do that anymore, brother. Remember?" Yes, you have a plus sign.
I hate to do this to myself, but those guys do get to make their wisdom saves again.
Thank you for being honest.
Yeah.
First one makes it. Second one, what is your spell
Does
save?
not.
Gotcha. So
DC 15.
this one is free. The other one is not. So the female one steps forward. "You can't do that anymore. Remember, brother, allow me." And she holds out her hand, and a small flaming sphere appears in it. Eldar, you can see this is a flame bolt. However, at the very last second, it seems like there's a little burst of energy from her, and 2 flame bolts shoot out at each of the griffs, at the gruffs, as she twins her spell.
Well, that's some of that sorcerer stuff.
1, and they both miss. So she's like, "Allow me," and then does this and twins it out, and they both just hit to either side, doing nothing.
Well, hang on, because one of them is restrained. So would she get
Nope.
advantage?
I mean, she would, and it still misses. Those were really poor
misses!
rolls.
God damn.
Those were very poor rolls.
God damn.
It's their turn again. This one. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Eldar.
Yes.
This one's going to move past you. You get an attack of opportunity if you choose.
I choose not to.
All right. Zoe. This one's going to move past you. You get an attack of opportunity if you'd like.
Yes.
Please
Smack,
take.
smack.
Smack, smack.
Smack,
That's
smack.
a hit.
Yes.
Oh, nice. As it runs past you. Muse. They are taking 2 attacks at you. They are holding in their hands short swords, and you can see as they're getting closer, they're actually wearing leather armor. So they're
I don't
taking
like that.
short sword attack. First one's a 9, that's a miss. Second one is 18, I believe that's a hit. You take 9 piercing damage.
Oh, you want to know what I calculate for fucking HP?
Nice.
Oh,
And,
it's beautiful.
I'll have this one roll its wisdom save. So, Muse.
Uh-huh.
Seems pretty clear now. Hey, he fails. Yep. Oh, roll me a concentration check, actually.
Oh, no, don't do that to my baby.
You can do it.
You can do it.
Is it going? Is it gonna go?
Okay,
14.
You're fine. You're good. That holds person spell still is up. Alright, that's their turn. Eldar. He ran right past you.
They certainly did. That's kind of weird. Do you have a fireball template I could borrow?
Yes. Yes, I do.
That is really kind of you.
That seems, like an escalation.
This is a magic shop. Please don't burn it down with us
It's magic.
inside.
You can't damage magic things.
Controllable by James. You may now move it.
Okay, so if I center it, it's gonna get Zoe there. I could, would that hit them both? It's hard to say.
Yes, it would. I do want to stress, just like, first of all, I'm loving this, but
Yeah.
you've been around enough to know, if you destroy this person's shop, they may not be happy about it.
The military will pay for it, though.
Oh, good. Well then, by all means.
I'm wrong. I could be very wrong.
Could be. What? Oh boy.
I can't. It's too reckless. I'm gonna cast detect thoughts again, but at 3rd level.
Ooh, okay.
It doesn't change the spell in any way. I just want to regain a 2nd level spell slot.
Understood. Which one are you casting detect thoughts on?
Let's roll a d4. Starting from the top is 1 and the bottom is 4. The one
Bottom.
furthest, closest to Muse.
Understood. Wisdom save. 13. What's your spell save?
Fails. 15.
Excellent. So, you probe its thoughts. And, what would it be thinking?
Insight and reasoning.
Oh boy. Eldar! I'm dragging you to secrets real fast.
Okay.
Okay, hello.
I hope this pays off.
In its mind, you get of course the surface level thoughts of kill them. Yes, right.
Mhm.
In the inner thoughts, the kind of the working of minds, you hear something a bit more coherent, which is, if we kill her, we will earn favor with the queen. This is our chance. This is our chance to make our older brothers proud.
Can I insight that?
Insight in what way? What are you trying to determine?
So it's I gain insight and reasoning into the. Do you want me to link the thing? I don't know if it can give me any more information.
Yeah, it
than that.
might. It might. Roll me a knowledge history.
History. Come on.
Oh,
25.
yeah. Okay. So here's what you know.
Mhm.
Gruffs are used by the Sealy court. There's only there in the Sealy court. There is the Summer Lady, the queen that will be, the Summer Queen, the queen that is, and the Summer Mother, the queen that was. But there's only one queen, the Summer Queen. There's only one person that a Gruff would say queen about.
So these people want to kill this person to gain favor with the Summer Queen of the Sealy Court.
Correct.
That is interesting.
Isn't it
Do
just?
I know why that would bring favor?
Not a clue.
Okay, I don't get that much.
Not
reason.
that much, no. You get the impression that these are, not shock troops per se, but very low-level enforcers. They are given an objective. They're not told why. Does that make sense?
That makes sense, yeah.
Gotcha. Perfect. I'm putting you back up.
All right. And with his bonus action, he'll look at this lady over here and just kind of like casually say, "They're after her."
This is at normal speaking volume, correct?
Yeah.
You hear a no shit!
Zoe, it's your turn. Oh, wait, do you want to use any move action, Eldar?
Nah.
Gotcha. Zoe.
Actually, no, he will. 5, 10, 15, 20.
Gotcha.
I also forgot about my familiar. Can he give, I suppose, Muse advantage on stuff?
He certainly can. However, I will say you notice this. She seems to have either a familiar or a trained animal of her own that is also granting her aid.
Oh, that's right. I totally forgot.
So, being familiar with how familiars work, it is either a smally trained animal or a familiar that's doing what yours would have done.
Okay.
I mean, if you want to give advantage on both of my Eldritch Blasts,
Yes.
I'd be down with that.
Right. I mean, that is definitely possible. I'm just making you aware.
Then it shall be so.
Okay. Sweet. Zoe.
Excellent. Yes. All right. Zoe is going to hit this fellow right here with her mace.
Okay.
Must save the pretty lady.
Uh-huh. That's a hit.
Yes.
That's
then-
4 bludgeoning.
And then use my spiritual weapon. Do.
That's definitely a hit.
Kissed. Excellent.
Oh my gosh, yeah, this thing's looking hurt. And it's just getting buffeted between your mace and the gauntlet behind it. It's just like a ping pong almost. It literally kind of like puts its hands up with its short sword trying to like cover itself, almost like a boxer would with its, like, like a boxer that's in the corner. That's what it's doing right now. Anything else, Zoe?
Nope, she's gonna stay where she is.
Alright. Muse.
Hi.
Do you
I
need
don't like this.
Do you need to roll an insight or a perception, or are you pretty...
No,
No?
I'm good. Thanks.
They're after you, by the way.
You don't say.
Would she have been able to warn him away from coming too close?
Who?
Because the next thing she's about to do is going to hit him.
For the sake of I like where this is going, yes.
Awesome. Cool. Wonderful. So as he was approaching, she would have like flung out a hand, just like stay back, before he hit here.
He would have pirouetted to the side in that case.
Nope.
On the way.
Still too
No?
close.
No, hey,
Too close.
I will say, you can't give him that much information. You just can tell him stay back, and he will take it as he takes it.
All right, he's gonna take it then. Fine.
I'm just
No,
saying, like, you
that's-
can't... Yeah, like, Eldar, you can choose
Yep.
what that means, but all she was able to do is
Yeah.
say stay back.
He would have stopped blocking at that point then.
Gotcha.
Okay. Cool. So, how much would that be? That would be, and that is just to double check. Yeah, cool. So, she throws out her hands to either side, and there's just an absolute flurry of black and golden mods that reads around her in a big old a 10-foot circle. And each of these motherfuckers are going to take 9 radiant damage. And then on top of that, she's going to slam down her hands and cast Arms of Hadar. That should be at 3rd level.
Question real quick. Do they get any sort of save or anything like that against your first ability?
Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Here. I'm
the patron's
reading too
power to
slowly.
protect you from harm is the bonus action. You created a swarm of black moths fly around you until the end of your next turn. You can resist if a creature is hostile ends its turn within 10 feet of you. So it will take these if it ends its turn there, not immediately.
Mm-hmm. And she's also using Arms of Hadar.
Correct.
That, like I said, that should have been higher. For some reason, it didn't.
That's more than fine. You're using it at what level?
Level 3.
All right. Arms of Hadar is strength save. Should be more than 11, yes?
What the fuck? All of my spells are screwy.
Strength save. 1, 2. I'm pretty sure neither of those make it.
Absolutely the fuck not.
So they both take 7 necrotic?
They should take more than that. It's an extra 1d6 per spell slot unless we're using your
We
adjusted
are.
rules.
We are using my adjusted rules. What spell level are you casting it at?
3rd level. That's the highest spell slot I can.
Gotcha. Give me a second.
The only spell slot I have.
Give me a second. That's true. It's a fair point. Let me pull up this thing. It is 66 total. So what is it normally? It is. What does it normally do? 2d6. So
yes.
add 4d6 to that.
Okay, cool. So we'll just roll that manually.
So I should point out to the ladies and gentlemen of the audience, I have always felt that upcasting spells for damage is kind of pointless. It's never anywhere near what an actual leveled spell of that would be, and I feel like that's sad. I want to encourage my players to feel like they can upcast, so there is a method in the DMG for upscaling damage in an alternate method, and we are using it that way, which is for area of attack things at 3rd level is 66. Still not quite as good as a fireball, but still much better than just upcasting a level 1 spell.
Mm-hmm. So they take 26 points of damage.
Okay. So
Yep.
you guys see these swarm of moths fly around her, and she pounds the ground, and these tentacles
It's roots.
Its roots break out of the ground, break through the floor, grab them, reach up around them, wrap around their shoulders and their arms, and there's a brief pause, and then they disappear under the floor as they get crushed to death.
And just looking up as this absolute fucking eclipse of insects rides around her, you can see that her eyes are just a solid black.
All right then. Would you like to move? Oh, also,
would you like me to roll an intimidation?
No, question. Is that a concentration spell?
Nope.
Perfect. No intimidation. Would you like to move your character?
You know what? Yeah, she will step over the spots where the gruffs disappeared, where the roots are still sinking down back into the floor, and just make eye contact with the last 2 gruffs.
Gotcha. All right. The 2 in the center of that room, the male looks at this display and then just stops, open-mouthed, staring at Muse. The other one, how's it going back there, brother? She twins her firebolts again. Oh, my darling, please. Do
What
better
about
this time.
She
She twins it again, fires the first one at the one in front of her. Oh my god. Spins around, very angrily looking, and throws it at the one behind her. Oh my god. They are just... She has no... Okay, Eldar, do you remember at the beginning of this session...
Yes.
When Eldar was talking about remember to practice your cantrips?
Yeah, he's shaking his head and he's tutting.
By the way, you're no longer sharing.
This gruff here sees that his 2 friends were just planted, and is now facing 3. Yeah. He takes a turn and runs for it. Zoe, you have an attack of opportunity if you'd like.
Absolutely.
He's definitely not looking so hot.
And if possible, I guess
Ooh,
I would
that's a hit.
rather knock him out if
Okay.
I can.
Sure.
Like,
So on non-lethal damage, he is taken to 0 and falls to the floor unconscious because he only had 2 hit points left. He's just been back and forth and back and forth, and finally he turns to run, and he's hit one more time in the back of the head.
yes. And she would begin to tie him up.
Gotcha. Okay. Eldar, your turn.
He taps his foot and scratches his chin and then disappears. No, he doesn't.
Fucking Santa? What?
I'm just thinking.
I completely changed your plan of attack.
Okay, so he runs over here. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And then,
You take back your bird.
nah. And then he bursts into flames and appears standing on the counter and says, "Ah, hi, fuckstick." And then whacks him over the head with advantage because he's paralyzed.
He is paralyzed, yes.
21.
That is a hit.
It's an
Wait.
automatic crit because he's paralyzed.
Hang on.
Yeah.
He didn't get to do his wisdom save at the end of initiative.
That may change my turn.
Yes, it might. Give me a second here. Person. I gotta look up whole person again
Sorry.
too. No,
I just
that's
looked it up
fine.
for you. The condition is paralyzed, and a paralyzed creature.
If
has
you
attack
hit
bonus.
them,
Yeah, and
it's-
if it hits, it's an automatic crit.
oh my god. Well, let's see if he can
Only Sophia
avoid
could have
this
said.
fate. Nope.
Yes!
Okay.
Oh wait, no, it's an automatic crit. We draw from the crit deck.
Oh, wonderful.
Oh,
Oh, yeah,
no.
okay, sure. And it was almost
Uh,
max damage in the roll.
Which one is it? It's this one. So I'm going to give this to you. Eldar. Hey guys, we get our first critical hit of the game. Please
Yay.
throw that on the table for us. This is a quarterstaff, so
welcome.
it's bludgeoning.
It won't let me.
You should be able to click on it and then just drag it.
Oh, I have to click on it first?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right. Bruised joints.
Bludgeoning.
Maximum damage, and the target must make a DC 16 Constitution saving throw. On a failed save, the target has disadvantage on attacks for 2d4.
Leave the man alone. He's already dead.
All right. First things first. What's the maximum amount of damage you could do?
9 damage.
Just one more than he did.
Yeah.
9 damage.
Actually,
Alright.
one less than what you would have done. It was
Mm.
double.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then he has a Constitution saving throw. No. So please roll me 2d4 plus 2. So for 4 rounds, even if he somehow gets free, he's got disadvantage.
6 rounds.
Oh yeah, 6 rounds. My apologies. So you know he's not having a good day.
He's having a feeling.
Anything else, Eldar?
No.
Gotcha. Zoe.
Yeah, Zoe's just tying this guy up, and it looks like Eldar has some stuff under control.
Yep. Perfect. Gotcha. Muse.
She looks over at Zoe, kind of nods. Just like, that's probably the best idea. How fucked up does the one satyr look, or not satyr, gruff?
Right.
This
These
one.
are not satyrs. Pretty bad. He's not doing great. He got hit really hard by Eldar. He's not like an ounce away from death or anything, but man, that really hurt.
Okay, so yeah, fucking Fireboy has it. So she'll go over here. Are you two all right? And she's just gonna check on
Gotcha.
check on them.
The one in front of you says, "Yes, we are fine. Apologies for getting you caught up in this. Later, brother."
He frowns a little at that. It just kind of nods. You know what? Eldar has it. She'll end her turn here.
All right. So Sophia, sorry, you guys don't know her name yet. My apologies. She takes a few steps forward, tightens her lips, looks very upset, and fires off another flame bolt, and finally hits. Ooh.
Counterspell it.
Dick move, bro. And hits it with fire. It's not dead, but now it's on fire and it's not doing so hot. Hey, he doesn't like this. This is a good time.
I feel like he's pretty hot right now.
He just wants
me with a
Super
disadvantage.
toasty.
He just wants to break. He does. He's.
And that was his turn.
Does. He's free. Eldar, it's your turn.
So I just see him starting to be able to move.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, fireball. No, I'm kidding.
He finds
my
deep
God.
down in his soul the courage and the strength to break free. And it's your turn.
Mind spike at third level.
Roll me 3d8, please.
Is it not upscaled?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Roll me oh gosh. Okay, so this is where it gets a little hard, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what is so 66? Oh no, it's a single target. It's a single target, not a area of effect. Okay, roll me 60-10, please.
60-10. Okay.
Uh-huh. Because it's a single target spell. So I'll put up a thing for you guys. Oh, I'm so sorry. It's 5d10 because saves save halves damage, not negates damage.
Did he save?
Let me see here. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if he saved or not. Doesn't matter if we take that 9 away and then half it. He did.
Okay, so his brain basically melts.
Yeah, so he does this. He finds the will. This is your moment, Gruff. This is it. You're gonna make your brothers proud. Just break free. And then he his eyes roll into the back of his head, and he starts drooling at the mouth, and then just falls over like a lump on the floor.
Eldar hops off the counter.
Okay, Zoe.
Yeah, she's just finished tying that gentleman up, and
There-
she's going to.
There's also a message for you in Discord.
Oh. I know. I'm trying
Okay.
to think of something.
Gotcha.
So yeah, she's done with this guy. He's all nice and tied up. I don't know if anyone wants to question him, but there he is. And she's going to come over here and see what's going on with these two, like muses. So nothing really.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
All right. We can go ahead and go out of initiative now. Welcome back, Pud.
Thank you.
So, it has been several days since last we left you and Otto. You have traversed the Underdark with Otto's direction towards Undermountain. In this time, you have put the armor on. Have you made any changes to it? Does it look any different?
It doesn't necessarily look any different, but Pud is actually quite crafty and has, on several occasions, with Otto's reassurances that the area is relatively safe, has gone what the kids call ham and built up a tiny forge, used all of their smith's tools, and has essentially refit this armor um, to fit them exactly. And in doing so, the armor seems to have sort of gained some strange properties of its own, and has actually grown to cover the entirety of their body instead of just the areas where the plate would cover them. So it looks like they're covered in this fine sheen of silver scales instead of their typical brownish coloring, so that they look like a tiny kobold warrior carved out of one singular block of silver.
Amazing. Almost like a walking statue.
Like a walking statue, yes. And in this time, they seem to be in relatively good spirits, though this might just be how they are. But they are relatively good company, and in the time that they are traveling, they will occasionally stop and go, all right. I need you to repeat after me.
Okay.
You're going to say, my name is Otto, and Otto's lair is in Undermountain.
My name is Otto, and Madgoth's lair is in Undermountain.
What's your favorite food?
I'm going to lean on you for a second here, Blue. You are more of a dragon expert than even I. I know much about dragons. But what would a fairy dragon consider its favorite food?
Fairy dragons love little fancy things. Little pastries, little cupcakes, little their favorite food is typically butterflies, which is why they have such vibrant colors, and it's partially why fairy dragons in the Underdark would be relatively rare, or if they are down there, might have muted colors. I can tell you Thimble's favorite food is candied butterfly wings.
Gotcha. Okay. He would think for a second. Butterfly wings marinated in lemon sauce. Delicious.
Okay, repeat after me. My name is Otto.
My name is Otto.
And Otto's favorite food is butterfly wings in lemon sauce.
And Otto's favorite food is butterfly wings in lemon sauce.
Okay, perfect. And several hours later, after they work pretty much constantly on small projects, just kind of poking and prodding at the armor, tuning up here and there, and they are pretty much constantly working on this endless array of near identical beetles. But a couple hours later, they pop their head back up. All right. I need you to repeat after me again.
Okay.
Uh,
Ah.
My name is Otto, and I have exquisite flair.
My name is Otto, and I have exquisite flair. And they like flap their wings and like prestidigitate like glitter.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
What?
This, and they immediately turn back to whatever they're working on.
You see Otto will constantly like poke their head around your shoulder. What are you doing? What's this?
It's a beetle.
Why are you making beetles?
I like beetles.
Are you gonna enlarge things again?
I can try. Do you want me to make you bigger?
There's like a long pause. No. I am a master of my own domain, and when I'm in my domain, I am much grander than what you see here. I do not need your help.
Well, I know that, but sometimes it's nice to have it.
I'm fine, thank you.
All right. And then, one more time, several hours later. All right. This should be the last time, but I need you to repeat after me one more time.
Okay.
My name is Otto.
My name is Otto.
Pud is my friend.
Pud is... Do I really?
They make a rapid motion with their hands.
My friend.
Say it.
My friend.
All right. My name is Otto, and Pud is my friend.
My name is Otto. Pud is my friend.
And I live in a castle.
And I live in a castle.
Okay. All right. Perfect. All right.
Okay.
Excellent.
All right. Perfect. Excellent.
They immediately turn back to what they're doing.
Otto stands like on two legs next to you, their paws on the little bench you have, and starts mimicking whatever you're doing.
They have this pair of goggles on their face they have been sort of using intermittently throughout this journey, that has several different lenses of different thickness and different color that they can flip down in front of their eyes, either in combination or one at a time. And after a moment, they are working on something very small, but their body is so hunched over that it's probably pretty difficult to see. But after a moment, they pop upright and look over at Otto with their eyes hugely magnified, and they hold out a hand. All right, your hand, please. Or your tail, it doesn't really matter.
Otto hesitantly bends their tail over towards them.
All right, here. And they take a tiny beetle that has another, even smaller beetle stacked on top of it. So here's what you're going to do. Whenever you want to say where you live, you're going to tap the bottom beetle. And in a perfect recording of Otto's voice is a spliced together phrase: Otto's castle lair.
Oh my god.
As they have used their they have used their magical tinkering ability to create a tiny object that, whenever tapped by a creature, the object emits a recorded message that can be heard up to 10 feet away.
Amazing. How long does it last? Just until?
Indefinitely.
Indefinitely. Amazing.
And then, and this is even better, whenever you want to tell people who made this for you, you tap the top beetle, and in another perfect recording, it says, "Pud is my friend," in the reluctant grumble of a fairy dragon.
Yeah, Pud is my friend.
Uh-huh.
Otto kind of snorts at the second one. All right. That second one I could take or leave, but that first one, oh, to be able to say I live, and he taps his tail on the ground. Otto's castle lair.
Mhm.
Oh, that's clever.
I had to space them out by a few hours because if you tried to say them all together, they came out wrong, so I just corrected them for you.
That is truly clever. Oh boy. That's wonderful. Unfortunately, we have to part ways here.
Oh. All right, they look around. Is this Undermountain?
No. Well, we're close though, but no. I just have to go show this, important things that I must do. But you're almost there, Pud?
Oh, all right. Well, I suppose a tunnel is a tunnel, and I can find the end if I need to.
Well,
If you
so
lose
much a
that or
tunnel.
something, if you lose your beetle or something happens to it, I can always make you another one.
That's good to know. Though
I might have to trick you into saying all the words again, but I think I can do that.
you didn't trick me. I knew exactly what you were doing.
Bud stares at them.
They seem a little uncomfortable. So, it's less a tunnel and more of a maze. But I can draw you a map. Do you have a large parchment?
I don't have any parchment, but I do have this grease towel and some charcoal, I suppose.
Sure, whatever. That'll work. And Otto takes it and starts drawing with the charcoal. And they're almost like an artist is having a fun time with the lion on their belly and drawing. And it takes them 45 minutes. And then Otto stands up and backs away and furls their wings out. There. A map to Undermountain. Well, I really must be going. Find my ring and meet me at... and taps the tail on the ground. Otto's castle lair.
Okay.
And then they disappear.
Oh. Alright, bye. It was nice to meet you.
No response.
Yeah.
You go to the towel. It's a mess. It's so hard to see. You think that's where you are? And that might be a corridor?
Or is that just grease? Oh no.
It's hard to tell. But there's your map!
Yeah. Oh shit, okay.
So you take your map and your gear and everything, and you work up your courage, because this is, for the first time, you're on your way to Undermountain alone.
Mm-hmm.
And you wander around for days because the map is almost unreadable. But you wander around, and eventually things change. you notice you almost fall into it, really, like a crevice. And when you get to the bottom of the crevice, you notice that the crevice keeps going. And lacking anything else better to do, right? Because it's going to be really hard to climb back out, you just keep following the crevice on your belly.
Uh-huh.
And it goes and it goes and it goes for about 20 minutes, and then it seems to curve upwards. So you follow it upwards, crawling on your hands and knees, and then you finally reach a dark, flat surface above you. Roll me a perception check.
Oh, perception.
Perception. 11. So you can still see in utter darkness, but it is not great lighting, right? Like, dark vision lets you see total darkness as dim light, so you're not seeing a lot of detail, right?
I am seeing a lot of dim light, but yes.
Yes. Up above you, the surface feels like it's flat and looks very smooth and feels almost like worked stone. And when you kind of reach up to feel it, you can tell it's heavy, but it apparently has some give to it. Like, if you pushed hard enough, you might be able to push it up.
Okay. Well, I suppose we are lacking in any other place to go, so... Pud will, very carefully gauge where everything is and make some calculations in their brain about the likelihood of all of this caving in on their head. How much give?
Enough that when you kind of push on it, it's a bit of a strain, right? But you can definitely get it up there. And actually, the more you push on it, it almost like one side of it pops up. And do you kind of stick your head up through, or you can tell when you push it up and it starts to pop up, actual light filters down. It's kind of reddish, filters down around you.
The goggles on.
Goggles on.
Well, I mean, they've been on, but we're switching them to the hate ball lenses.
Yes, understood. It's not. Well, I should note. It's not incredibly bright. It's not like painfully bright, at least to an average person.
Yet.
Yes, exactly. Better safe than sorry.
Do they hear anything? Their piddly little 11. I have a plus fucking 6 and I rolled an 11.
I know. The sound of swooshing air. You kind of hear like maybe the rustle of something like clothing or something of that nature.
Oh.
But nothing else.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, then they will, if there is a little bit of give or one area that's kind of popped up, they will sort of squiggle worm their way through it if they can.
Okay. So you squiggle worm your way through what you realize quickly looks to be the tile of a floor. Like a stone tile. And you squiggle your way through. Do you, like, set it back in place?
I assume it's heavy enough that it falls back into place.
It does, actually. With a little bit of a thud. And you look around and you see that you are in a very strange looking room. Dark red, almost rust colored tiles of some sort of stone line the floor, and the walls seem to be carved out of pure black shiny marble, but it's smoother than any tool could have done. You've tinkered enough with things to know this was almost like it was grown this way. It's very smooth, unlike anything you've ever seen.
Well, they sure didn't put the whole wall on the belt sander, so it must have, yes.
And you slowly turn around, right? You're doing the 360, taking in the room. And as you turn around, you see several things. In the middle of the room, there seems to be a raised part, with several steps leading up to like a raised part. In the very center of that is a pedestal. And on this pedestal, almost floating in midair, you see a gem. A wonderful, multifaceted gem. So big that you'd have to carry it in two hands. It is in the shape of a tear. And the light seems to hit it in such a way that even all the light in here is kind of reddish. It shines like a brilliant rainbow. It's about 50 feet away from you, right?
Uh-huh.
But even there, you can see it. And standing next to the pedestal, I'm sorry, not 50 feet. It's like actually more like 15 feet. You're kind of close to it.
Okay.
Standing next to it are two figures with their backs to you. One seems to be in dark robes and is a narrower, slightly curvier form of a humanoid.
Mhm.
And the other is wearing brilliant purple robes that just kind of flow down to the ground. And you see a falling, unbrushed, kind of tangled white hair all around it. And as you notice this, and as you're kind of like taking all this in and trying to figure out exactly what's going on and what your next move is and what even is happening, right?
Mhm.
The figure in the purple robe lifts up both their hands and begins to speak. And when they speak, their sound reverberates through the room and through you. It's almost like your bones, right? Like, have you ever heard a noise through your jawbone?
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like that. Hello there. I am the great Halaster Blackcloak, creator of the Undermountain. By now, you must have noticed that thick blanket of mist that surrounds this town. Some of you may have even realized that walking into this mist simply causes you to walk back the way you came. I call it the mist of listing. Anywho, I've grown bored of quite a few troublesome issues, and I want them cleaned up in my amazing dungeon. So, I have created the Mist of Listing to give all of you do-gooders motivation. No one can enter or leave Whitebridge while the mist is active. And don't bother trying to dispel it. This magic is far and away exceeds you. Trust me, I know. I made it myself. There is one, and only one way to dispel the mist of listing. At the very deepest level of my dungeon, there sits a magical artifact called the Tear of Mystra. If a band of adventurers can survive the trials of my dungeon and recover the Tear of Mystra, you can dispel the mists of listing. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Well, actually, more like hard, lemon hard. But surely one of you can do it. I mean, you all die if you don't, so get on that. All right. And then the figure turns around all of a sudden as alerted to something, maybe some move you made, some sound, or even you were quiet, who knows, turns around. The fuck is that? And the other figure turns around. And you see the person in the white robe appears to be an old man. Has Pud ever seen humans before?
Maybe in books, maybe like they've probably been told about them.
Gotcha.
So they could probably recognize one.
Yeah,
Between the pictures and the general description of this is what a human looks like.
You see your first human, old, disheveled, wild hair and a long beard, is the one that was talking. And then next to them, as they said that, who the fuck is that? The figure turns around, the one in black robes, and you see what appears to be a woman. But it's hard to tell what exactly because her skin is deathly green and she's beautiful, but also somehow...
She's beautiful to somebody. This
Right.
is Pud we're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. Shall I say she's very symmetrical and smooth,
Ah, okay.
but also just doesn't appear to be right, as if her flesh is not wholesome.
Okay.
And they're both just staring at you.
Pud looks down at the floor and looks back up. Hello. That was very nice, that you were telling me about the mist. I didn't see any. Could you show me? It sounds nice.
The old man's just staring at you. What even... How did you get in here?
They point down.
The woman next to him, in a very smooth voice, says, "Well, that didn't take very long, did it?" What do you mean? I believe the challenge was for an adventurer to survive the trials of your dungeon, reach the lowest level, and take the Tear of Mystra. Well, she points to you. There they are. The old man, waves his hands. That's not how it works. You, points to you, are not supposed to be here. Give me one good reason why I shouldn't just obliterate you.
Pud looks down and then back up. Well, what reason would you have to obliterate me? I didn't do anything wrong. What's a Tear of Mystra?
There's a pause. What do you mean? That is the Tear of Mystra, and he points to the gem that you see on the pedestal. And you've done everything wrong. You're in my tower uninvited. One more chance, little thing. Give me one good reason not to incinerate you where you stand. And you actually can feel power radiating from this man. And a change comes over him. Up until now, he's been kind of whimsical, one might say. A little absent-minded, maybe. His look, his feel, turns cold. And for one of the first times, well, maybe not the first time in your life, it's almost like the feeling you get when standing in front of a dragon, but not a good way. A very bad way.
So Pud initially kind of shrinks and then goes, and then does the wait, hold on, and then puffs themselves back up. I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't know this was your tower. If you don't know all the entrances to your own house, that's your fault. Now, are you going to show me the mist or not? I do want to see it. It sounds very nice.
The woman turns to the man. The little thing has a point. If you don't understand all of your own secret passages, then why can it hardly be blamed for wandering in to Halaster's secret tower? The coldness from this man tends to radiate and even get deeper. And his face gets very red. And there's a long, silent moment.
Pud at the very end of it. Maybe this is a weird question, but can I use your bathroom before we go? I'd like to wash my face.
The woman starts laughing. And the old man, some sort of tension leaves him. He still looks cold and dangerous. But he actually puffs out his mustache. I shall have to make sure that's closed. Very well. I've decided not to kill you. In fact, I want you to do me a service to make up for breaking into my home.
They look down. Well, if I can use your bathroom, I guess that's okay.
The woman chuckles even more until Halaster looks at her and she just stops talking. No, You cannot use my bathroom, but I will send you somewhere where you can. In fact, this place that I'm about to send you. Come with me. And he just turns around and starts walking away.
Pud looks at the lady. Is she going to?
She stands where she is, but when you look at her, she kind of does a motion with her fingers like, go on.
Oh, okay. Pud trots after, and pauses, and then, like in a conspiratorial whisper, points at him. Is he a wizard? Is that what a wizard looks like?
That, my dear little thing, is Halaster Blackcloak, the most powerful wizard that ever lived.
Oh. Okay, so do they all look like that? Oh, I should go. Bye. Nice to meet you.
What is your name? The woman calls.
I'm... They stop. And they turn around, and they point at her. I'm the Mithril Knight. It was nice to meet you. Goodbye.
And you leave the room.
Yeah.
Halaster, just walking down a hallway.
Pud trotting along behind to keep up.
And very short, doesn't take long at all, because this is not the largest tower. Walks into another room, and in this room, there is a circle of runes on the ground. Roll me an Arcana check. Oh.
24.
You've seen this. Gnomes use it sometimes. It's a circle of teleportation. It's often used to... you're not quite sure how it works, but people stand in it, and then something happens, and then they're not there anymore. And then sometimes, no one's there, and then people are there.
Okay, it means we're going somewhere. Okay.
Halaster says, stand in there, please.
Pud looks at the runes. Can I make a quick roll to like see if they can remember this later?
Remember the runes?
Yeah.
Sure.
Or at least like one or two of them. They are generally interested in magical things.
Yeah, just roll me an intelligence check.
10.
You're able to remember.
Pud, babe.
You're able to remember about a quarter of it.
Okay. Yeah, they're just. I mean, it's kind of just like a passing. Huh, that's neat.
And you stand and you go inside it.
Uh-huh.
He looks at it. Little to the left, please.
How far? They take like a half step to the left.
That's good.
Okay.
So, little, what even are you, a goblin?
Oh, I'm a kobold.
Ah, right, a kobold. Little kobold, I need you to go somewhere. I'm going to send you there. And there's two things that you need to know. First, where I'm sending you is the bathroom. Feel free to relieve yourself wherever you like.
Oh, thank you.
Secondly, there's a man in the building that I'm about to send you to. Brown, short hair. I need you to go to him and listen. This is very important. I need you to kick him in the shin as hard as you can, and then ask him where my socks are.
Where your socks are. Okay. I can do that.
Good. And then, if he gives you my socks, I need you to bring them back here to me.
And this is the tower. This is your house?
Yes, this is my house.
Okay. I am going to bring them back to the house, where you keep the magic things. Okay, I can do that.
Good. Goodbye. And with a whoop, you're gone. And the world disappears around you and reappears. And you find yourself very confused, slightly disoriented, standing in a magic circle right here. In fact, when you appear, Oh, you may not be able to see me pinging there for some reason. Right here.
Uh-huh.
When you appear, you actually knock over several like globes and things that were in the circle.
Oh, okay.
And you see a very strange sight in front of you. There are several people, some of races you've never seen, 2 with horns, 1 dark purple and 1 so light purple they're almost pink with white hair. Maybe an elf with blonde hair? Maybe another elf maybe with silver hair? Some strange looking person with fire for hair.
That might be an elf, for all I know.
Possibly. What looks like a dead goat on 2 legs, another goat tied up, and a man with short brown hair behind the counter. And that's
Okay,
where we're going.
How many... Okay, really important to know. How
Uh-huh.
many people in this room have brown hair?
Not counting the goats?
Counting the goats, Squee.
3.
Okay.
One of
so
them's dead.
Okay, well, you know what? We're still gonna take that chance.
Okay, but
He did not specify that was the only criteria he listed. That's what he's going to get.
I understand. Just so you know, we're ending session 0 here.
Okay, cool.
And we'll pick up session 1 directly after.
Yay! Okay.
Yay! Well, there you go. Session 0 completed. A bit of a long session 0, and like I said, might have just been session 1. But I didn't want players to sit there for hours while other players did stuff, so I actually recorded these separately. So I apologize for the somewhat janky switching back and forth between the two. And don't worry, we'll have Pud's icon done hopefully before the next session, which, by the way, should be starting next week every Friday night at 7 p.m. Mountain Time, which is 9 p.m. Eastern and 6 p.m. Pacific, on my Twitch channel here. And then a few days after that, they will be uploaded to the SciLP YouTube channel. If you don't catch them on Twitch, you can definitely see them there. I really, really hope to see you all, and I'd like to welcome you all to this crazy adventure that is full of wizards and Feywild and dungeons and dragons. Until then, everyone, take care.